And now let's meet the teams. First up, the starters for the North Carolina Tar Heels. On defense, senior, number 4, Dylan Kropp. On defense, freshman, number 5, Emmanuel Mayday. At forward, graduate student, number 7, Nacho Abial. On defense, junior, number 13, Luca Nikolai. At forward, sophomore, number 19, Bertil Vigard Hansen. On defense,
7 years ago, the Terps made their most recent trip to the College Cup. And on December 10, 2018, the University of Maryland reigned atop the college soccer world, hosting the Cup for the 3rd time in Coach Sasho Surabski's storied tenure. Now in 2025, this team has started better than any team since. They have lofty expectations. They met one already by reaching the #1 rank in the country for the first time in 6 years. They expected not only to make the tournament, but to win the whole thing. And they get their chance to take the first step here at Ludwig in this second-round matchup between the 4-seed, the Maryland Terrapins, and the visiting North Carolina Tar Heels. Welcome in, everyone, to WMUC Sports Radio, where we have a playoff matchup for you between two of the most storied programs in collegiate soccer. My name is Peter Kelly. I'm joined today by Sydney Schwartz. And Sydney, I'll turn it over to you now. What do you think Maryland has to do to survive against this scrappy Tar Heels team and advance the next weekend?
Well, UNC has a lot of grit. They play a very high line. Maryland likes to play the ball over the top. That's something we're going to want to look forward to doing today. And it's going to succeed if UNC can't win with this high line.
Definitely two storied programs we have in College Park, and two teams that have very distinct styles of play. For the Maryland Terrapins, Sasho Surabski in his 33rd season, he's took home 3 College Cups. He's brought him back to Ludwig, the most recent coming 7 years ago in 2018 in a 1-0 victory over Akron. For North Carolina, their head coach is Carlos Samuano in his 15th year. He won the 2011 National Championship as a rookie head coach, and he's guided his team to 4 College Cup appearances, the most recent coming in 2020. 14 of his 50 teams have made the NCAA tournament, and 7 of his teams have reached at least the quarterfinals. Through that, they'll need to pick up 2 more wins, and they'll be the underdog in their next 2 games. They started out their journey with a scrappy win over a North Florida team that was equalized after a bar-down goal in the 90th minute as time expired by Luke Graniter, the UNC transfer who went to North Florida. Ended up sending that game to overtime, but it was the Tar Heels that will prevail in penalty kicks over the Ospreys. Now they advance to the weekend, where they take on the nationally ranked Maryland Terrapins. Started off the season 12-0-3. The furthest undefeated a Maryland team has gone since 2018. They lost in the Big Ten semifinals to the UCLA Bruins in a tough 2-0 defeat here at Ludwig. But that loss is behind them now. Now they can look only forward to what is in store for them in this NCAA tournament. I'm sure if you ask anyone on that sideline, they'll tell you that the Big Ten tournament didn't really matter that much. The trophy would have been nice, but this is what they've had their eye on for the entire year. A trip back to the NCAA tournament, and hopefully to make the College Cup. Both teams in their final huddles, and now they break up. For Maryland, it's a similar starting lineup to what we've seen the entire year, with one notable exception. Lauren Mack will be the goalkeeper. The sophomore German has been stellar all year. He was named the first team All-Big Ten Conference team. In the back line, that's where the change is. The left back still stays Luca Costabile. Tristan Rose is the left center back, and Lassa Kelp is the right back. But the change coming at that right center back position. Jace Clark, after being a little bit banged up against UCLA 2 weeks back, will not start today. He is available, but he will come off the bench if needed. Replacing him is the freshman who trained at Borussia Dortmund, Farouk Cisse. He'll wear number 90, and he'll slot into that back line. The midfield looks the same from left to right. Leon Cole, Ali Andronika, Chris Steinleitner, and Joseph Picotto. And up top, the 2 leading goal scorers for this team, the most prolific goal scorer tandem in the Big Ten, Stefan Chike and Saddam Basarika. The Tar Heels are ready. The Maryland Terrapins still in their huddle. Looking at the Tar Heels starting lineup, in goal is Andrew Cortez, the 4-year starter for the Tar Heels. They'll do a back line of 5 defenders from left to right: Dylan Kropp, Emmanuel Mate, Luca Nikolai, Callum Frogson, and Riley Burge. In the middle is the captain Andrew Check, joined by Jack Sandmeyer and Nacho Abayal. And up top, they'll use 2 strikers in Gabriel Bracken-Serra and Bertil Rygaard Hansen. Maryland breaks their huddle. The Tar Heels line up ready. The Tar Heels in their Tar Heel blue, that classic powder blue color that they are so well known for. They've got it on the top and the bottom and the socks for most players. And the goalkeeper, Andrew Cortez, is donned in a startling gold with some startling orange gloves, but he is certainly got that fashionable look over there. Terrapins, they've got their red shirts, white shorts, red socks, and in goal is Lauren Mack. He's got a pink keeper shirt with white shorts. Tar Heels will be moving left to right. They'll look to score in the right goal in this first half. Maryland Terrapins moving right to left will score in the left goal. Bracken-Sarah stands over it at the midfield logo. He's bouncing around, and it looks like we are ready to go here in College Park.
It's going to be a fun matchup, that's for sure.
Super exciting to have playoff soccer back in College Park as the Terps earn a national seed this year. Bracken-Sarah kicks it off, and away we go. It's played immediately long by Riley Burge, looking down the field for Luca Nicolai. It's headed up, and now headed still around. It goes over to Costabile, and coming down with it is Tristan Rose. He clears it way back towards midfield, right off the head of Riley Burge, and we are off and running in College Park. Skied all the way in the direction of the far right corner. Chasing after it is Tristan Rose, but he's going to let it go out for a long Maryland throw deep in their own half. Farouk Cisse with the ball in his hands. Did not start in the 2-0 loss to UCLA, but had to come off the bench and replace Jace Clark as there's some contact on the far side. It will go as a foul for UNC, the first one of this game. The Terrapins take a free kick quickly. It falls back to Mack, and now Mack plays it over towards Lassa Kelp. Kelp pushing up the near side, plays Costabile back towards the middle for Bakoto, but he's out in front a little bit. Headed away quickly, but now Steinleitner getting to it. Looking for Masarika, still in contest in midfield. Steinleitner plays to Masarika. Masarika's going to work against Frogson. Still trying to work on him, now playing it back, and it's intercepted. Over towards Bertil Rygaard Hansen, he plays it through. Trying to hurdle the defender is Nacho Abiel, but he can't do it as the slide tackle comes in from Maryland. On the far side is Joseph Bakoto. Bakoto is dispossessed. Abiel has it in his feet. He was tripped up, but he still tried to move forward with it. Still in contest in midfield, and a big shove given by Jack Sandmeyer on the far touchline, right at the midfield line to Farouk Cisse. Throw in for the Tar Heels. Goes right to Cisse, and it's cleared away by Tristan Rose. Down the direction of Andronika. Now it falls to GK. GK with a little bit of space. He's defended by Mate. GK still pushing with it on the left side. Moving towards the end line. He's going to have to cross. He tries to deke Mate. He's still got the ball on his feet. Back towards Costabile. 2 minutes have gone by here in College Park. Leon Cole, ball at his feet. Back to Costabile. The Terps moving backwards. GK's tripped up. Contact given by Luca Nicolai, but the ref says play on. GK rises to his feet slowly. Back with the center backs. Rose plays it all the way forward for Masarika. Masarika's going to push up the far touchline. Masarika playing it forward for Andronika. Andronika in the box, marked up by Riley Burge. So Andronika has moved out of the box now, still at his feet. Plays it to Bakoto. Bakoto moving outside the arc. Plays it forward for Leon Cole. Leon Cole, ball on his feet in the box. Tries to flick it forward for Masarika. Shot on target, almost went in. Crossed across goal by Saddam Masarika. Just glanced off the far post, and it goes out of play for a goal kick.
Great early start from Maryland. You would think coming in off the bye, they might have some tired legs, not quite used to each other as this UNC side is, but already on the front foot this early in the first half. It's a good sign for the Terps.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. This Terrapins team has not suited up since 10 days ago. That 2-0 loss to UCLA. This is the first time they've been back on the field. Of course, you play the whole season trying to earn that national rank to get a bye, but sometimes the bye week doesn't end up helping. Sometimes the team can come out a little sluggish, so it's good to see the Terps applying the pressure early on. Goal kick from Cortez falls all the way back to Tristan Rose. Now it's skied forward in the direction of Masarika. Now Masarika's got it. Crosses it across towards the middle for GK. GK to Cole, back to Costabile. Costabile plays it in for Masarika. Masarika tried to go up forward. He was pushed down in the box. Costabile's hand is up. The Maryland bench is irate. Masarika is still down in the box. There was some heavy contact on the challenge in from Callum Frogson. At the very least, it did go out for a corner. Does not seem like we will get a penalty on the occurrence. Sasha Surovsky may be wondering why, but he's certainly not going to be complaining about a corner kick so early on in this game. Just 4 minutes have gone by. And in the far corner.
Coach Surovsky did not look happy with the referee there. Hands were up, went all the way down the sideline to complain about that one. Looked a little bit questionable, but at the end of the day, it is still Maryland's ball.
Very heavy contact, no whistle. But the Ball's in the far left corner for a corner kick. Costabile stands over it. The arm goes up. It's a low ball in. Cisse gets his foot to it, but he pushes it wide right. Again, an encouraging start for the Terrapins, creating the most chances so far. And while none have been productive, it's good to see them starting to apply the pressure against this North Carolina team who has played more recently than them. They're a little more sharp, I would say, coming off of the game just 3 days ago against North Florida. Maybe there's some tired legs on that Tar Heel sideline, though, as that game went a full 90 minutes, and then they needed 20 minutes of overtime, in which it still wasn't decided. And it went to a full penalty shootout going past the traditional 5 rounds. It went 7. So a long affair for the Tar Heels to get to Sunday. Ball all the way back for Lauren Mack. Back to Kelp. Kelp playing it long in the direction of Masarika. Masarika gets his head to it. Now gets a touch in front of him. Masarika still giving chase. Now to Andronika. He's tripped up in the box. No whistle yet. Hard contact in the box yet again. But this one does go out for another Maryland corner.
That's great last-ditch defending from Jack Sandmeyer for UNC. Some Maryland players had their hands up calling for a penalty, but no way that's a penalty. That was all ball.
UNC recovering nicely after the long ball played from Lasse Kelp all the way to Masarika, and Masarika got a few nice touches on it to keep it in front of him, playing Andronika to get the opportunity for a corner kick. Costabile's in the corner. He has GK as the short option. He plays it to GK. Now Costabile tried to cross it in. It was deflected out. Good defense in that far corner by Bertil Rygaard Hansen. Throw in by GK in the direction of Andronika, headed up and out of the box by UNC. To the feet of Steinleitner. Back up to Kelp, all the way back towards Masarika. Masarika in the center back position, now slides it back to Tristan Rose, who's fallen all the way back. And now it's all the way towards Lauren Mack. 6.5 minutes have gone by. Here in half number 1, still scoreless at Ludwig Field. Played long for Costabile. He's going to track it down in this near left corner. Costabile is one-on-one with Mate, crosses it in, headed away by Riley Burge. Now UNC will finally clear it all the way across the halfway line. Gets as far as Lasse Kelp, and Kelp keeps it at his feet over to Cisse, and it looks like Maryland will have another possession. UNC just unable to get the ball back at their feet and control it for any more than just a simple clearance. On the near side is Costabile over to GK. GK was dispossessed. Now it falls to midfield with Gabriel Bracken-Serra. Bracken-Serra moving with it. Backwards to Emmanuel Mate. Nikolai back to Riley Burge. Burge from Columbia, Maryland, went to Athelton High School, so a bit of a homecoming for him. Senior defender wearing number 33 in that Tar Heel blue. On the far line, it's Abeal. Now it falls all the way back to Callum Frogson. Over to the center back, Dylan Kropp. Kropp forward. Bracken-Serra plays Abeal. Abeal's marked by Cisse. Now it falls all the way back to the center back, Dylan Kropp. So UNC not really moving anywhere. They're not using those quick passes that we're so accustomed to seeing from them. They're trying to create something. It's played forward for Rygaard Hansen, but it ticks off of him out of play, and it will go out for a Maryland throw-in.
It's good team play from UNC. We're seeing them switch the ball a lot. They're just playing the possession game, letting Maryland bite, but they're not quite winning the ball yet. So if they can move forward with those quick passes, like you were saying, that's going to be a strong point for UNC.
Maryland clears it away towards Albia Andronika. Stumbling a little bit is Mate. Mate on the ground now, holding the ball between his legs, and now Andronika comes up with it. He endures some contact, but he'll stay on his feet. Towards the middle of the field with Steinleitner, over towards Farouk Cisse. Cisse's got some green in front of him. Ball at his feet, marked by Abeal. Tripped as he made the pass, and it's intercepted. Played forward by Kropp, looking for Abeal, but intercepted by Tristan Rose. Rose to Steinleitner. Back to Farouk Cisse. And now it's the lone man back, Lasse Kelp. 9 minutes have elapsed here in this first half of play. Maryland recording the only shot thus far. Credit to Saddam Masarika, a ball played across the net. Ball on the far side, still in contest. Leon Cole tried to play it forward, but it was taken away. Now moving forward is UNC. Played into the box, but it's two ahead of the forward Batil Rygaard Hansen, and it falls right into the waiting arms of Lauren Mack.
It's a decent attempt from Andrew Check. You could see what he was trying to do with that little chipped ball over the top, but just didn't really quite work out in favor.
Maryland trying to move quickly. Stefan GK pushing up the left side. Good defense down there by Andrew Check, getting right back after the brief UNC attack. Now in midfield, played forward by Luca Nikolai. Tracking it down is Rygaard Hansen. Hansen defended by Lasse Kelp. It'll roll all the way out for a goal kick. Nice job by Lasse Kelp in a one-on-one chance with Hansen to get it to Lauren Mack for the goal kick. Terps will play out of the back. Cisse forward for Picoto. Picoto had it dispossessed. Tripped up in midfield is Leon Cole, and a whistle is blown and a free kick given to the Maryland Terrapins.
That's the third time Picoto's been dispossessed in the last few minutes. We were saying sleepy legs a little bit from the bye. You can see it a little bit.
Yeah, Terps are definitely going to need this team to wake up, and not saying that they're playing fully asleep. They seem to be controlling the tempo of this game thus far, but certainly going to take a few minutes to adjust back into game speed. And especially Picoto, the Terps are going to need a lot from him today. He's been one of their leading assisters on the year, including a staggering 4-assist performance in the game that clinched the Big Ten for Maryland up in East Lansing against Michigan State. 3 of those assists were to Saddam Masarika, who recorded the first hat trick for a Terrapin since 2017. Maryland's got a throw deep in their own half. Trying to play it through is Cisse, but it was intercepted, and now it falls to the Tar Heels. In midfield, Sandmeyer working. Now Abeal, and tripped up is Riley Burge. Free kick given to North Carolina. Not a particularly dangerous position, but it is in Maryland's half, and it is a chance for the Tar Heels to play it in the box, perhaps get ahead to it. Standing near the ball are 2 Tar Heels, Luca Nikolai, the junior defenseman from Dusseldorf, Germany, and Callum Frogson, the senior forward from Nottingham, England. Nikolai's hands are up as a shadow is cast over Ludwig Field. Played in by Nikolai, looking towards the back post. Sandmeyer is there, but Mack rises up, a nice claim to avoid getting to the far man, Jack Sandmeyer. Now will play it forward immediately towards Masarika, one-on-one with Riley Burge, and Burge just heads it out to give his team a chance to get back. Moving quickly is Masarika, throws it into Andronika, tried to cross it towards GK, but it ends up going out, deflected by the Tar Heels. And another Maryland corner, their 3rd of this game.
Once again, good last man defending from UNC. We saw Lauren Mack play that really early ball, trying to catch them out on the counterattack. That could have been very dangerous for Saddam Masarika, but just can't capitalize. Now it's a Maryland corner.
And good awareness by Masarika, too, to take that throw in very quickly. He knew he had enough people with him, with Andronika and GK, to potentially force a corner, which is exactly what happened. And up in the far corner from Rose, Cisse gets ahead to it, but rising up above the pack is Andrew Cordes, and he claims it with his neon orange gloves. The threat neutralized. Cordes going to take his time here. Get the chance for the boys in blue to work their way back up the field. Now he rifles it, throwing it over towards Luca Nikolai. Long ball played, looking in the direction of Hansen. But getting to it is Lasse Kelp. Kelp will clear this one high away. Terps near it are Andronika and GK. Goes off the head of Riley Burge, the Tar Heel defenseman. Now Steinleitner moving with it in midfield over towards Masarika. Masarika will be marked by Callum Frogson. Masarika, quick pass to Andronika over towards Picoto. Picoto crosses it all the way towards GK. GK, nice touch to keep it in the box. Now moves out of the box. Defended by Mate. Castabile could not keep it in off of the through ball from GK. Just a dangerous pass there, and Castabile really no chance to get that one back towards the target.
Couple calls for a handball in the box. Referee seems to not think anything of it, though.
Andrew Cortez lines up this goal kick. Cortez, the senior from Denver, Colorado, is third in the ACC in goals allowed average with just about .8 allowed a game. Masarika could not keep it in on the far sideline. It will go out for a Tar Heel throw. Callum Frogson to take. Frogson chucks it in the direction of Abael. Abael is tripped up, and good defense there by Chris Steinleitner to get the ball back. Gostabile makes a man miss, works right past Luka Nikolai. Trying to play it forward for Andronika. Burge could not clear it away. It ticks off of the head of Stefan GK and over towards the near sideline with Luka Nikolai moving forward with it. His pass deflected off of Gostabile. Now Hansen is tripped up. A lot of players slipping and sliding out there.
I noticed that. I saw it in warm-ups too. You can see just in Maryland's defending goal right now, a whole lot of mud on the goal line. I'm wondering if that's going to possibly have something to do with any of the goals that might happen in this game.
Yeah, players struggling to quickly change direction, stopping a dime. Hard contact between Lasse Kelp and Luka Nikolai, but no whistle blown, no foul given. Gostabile going forward with it. Now GK has it right through the legs of Emmanuel Mate. Now over towards Leon Cole, still in Maryland's own half. GK moving with it, playing it for Masarika, and finds it all the way through. Masarika, the lone man to get there. He cannot keep it in. Cleared out. Goal kick for Andrew Cortez.
Another player slipping, this time Riley Burge. That could have been very costly for UNC, that little slip up. Saddam Masarika was streaking into the box.
The ball played through by GK, perfectly placed out of the reach of Riley Burge, but unfortunately just a little bit too much mustard on it. And Masarika really had to get on his high horse and chase that one down, and even then, I don't believe he was able to keep it in. Goes out for the goal kick for Andrew Cortez. I did notice about 10 minutes before game time, all the sprinklers went on after Maryland had cleared the field and there were still some Tar Heels warming up. They elected to start on the sprinklers for whatever reason. Maybe the grass needed a last-minute water, but maybe that's contributing to some of the slipping and sliding out there. Of course, Ludwig Field is fully natural grass, so natural grass is often prone to mud. Takedown in the far corner. Tackling up for Maryland is Albi Andronika, and for the Tar Heels is Callum Frogson. It'll go the Tar Heels' way, and Andrew Cortez will trot over to it in the far left corner. Over 15 minutes have gone by. About 27 minutes to go in this first half. Tar Heels still yet to record a shot. This one goes out of play, and it will be a throw-in for the Tar Heels. Callum Frogson, ball in his hands, in Maryland's half, but just barely. Bounces it towards Gabriel Bracken-Serra. Bracken-Serra working on Farouk Cisse. Burns right past him. Now Bracken-Serra gets a little bump from behind by Cisse, and Cisse does well to win the ball back. Tries to pass it forward to Masarika. But now the Tar Heels will retain. Cleared away by Gostabile off of the dangerous pass in by the Tar Heels. 1-on-2, Maryland, the lone man back is Albi Andronika. He's trying to work against two defenders. And in trying to clear it away, it's deflected, and it will eventually go out for a North Carolina throw-in deep in their own half.
This is a great opportunity for Farouk Cisse to prove himself. 13 games, but only one start. We saw him come in once Jace Clark went down injured against UCLA in the Big Ten tournament. But the freshman, great opportunities coming for him.
Especially in collegiate soccer, the term freshman has lost a little bit of meaning, I think. I mean, Farouk Cisse is 21 years old. He's certainly not a freshman by age.
Just by class. But
yeah, his first year on campus. He was
a rookie
recently,
is a rookie.
Yeah, first year in collegiate soccer, and the Big Ten is certainly one of the elite conferences in the country. Cisse, about a week ago, was named as part of the Big Ten all-freshman team, along with his teammate Rocket Rita, who I'm sure we'll see at some point coming off of the bench, the freshman attacker from Georgia. Challenging forward is Andronika, now to the feet of Picoto. Picoto is tangled up and he's tripped up. Picoto and Andrew Czech working in midfield, and some back and forth play, but the whistle does go against North Carolina. And it will be a free kick about 10 yards into Maryland's own half for the Terrapins.
A little unsportsmanlike from Czech stepping over him there.
Yeah, a little bit of Allen Iverson over Ty Lue.
Just a bit of afters.
All the way back to Lauren Mack. Mack hasn't really struggled today with any of the UNC attacks. There haven't been many. He had one where he had to rise up and claim on a ball played towards the back post off of a long free kick. But other than that, he hasn't really had to break much of a sweat. In games past, we've seen when Mack gets very comfortable, he'll come way out of the box and play as a sweeper. Hasn't had to do that today, but it's certainly in his arsenal. Maryland with an advantage. GK pushing up ahead, defended by Mate. GK entering the box, tries to cut it back, now switches back to his left, fires a shot deflected by Riley Burge. Interesting chance for Maryland. They had 3-on-3, but it was GK with a little bit of green. Nice job by Riley Burge to stay back, sag off of his man, and block that shot. Still with the chance are the Terrapins. GK moves past Luca Nicolai, now back to Leon Cole, over to GK. GK pushing up the near sideline. A little bit of a bump from Emmanuel Mate. Goes out for a Maryland throw deep in the Tar Heels half.
Mate and GK, that's looking to be a great matchup down on this left-hand side. Love to see GK take on these 1v1 opportunities, but Mate's been closing him down so far.
Ball goes out. Which way will the flag point? It will go towards the Terrapins. A throw in about 10 yards into the Tar Heels half for Maryland. Certainly going to be an interesting matchup between the left and right backs for UNC and Masarika and GK, because those two players love to push up the wings. We saw it in the Wednesday game against UCLA. Their left and right backs did a very good job. Schneider, Mimi, and Shakir Nelson did a really great job locking up those players, and they weren't able to produce much. It looks like tasked with those two men today. On Masarika, it seems like it'll be Callum Frogson for the most part. And on GK, it's going to be Emmanuel Mate, the former U20 Canadian national team member from Burnaby, British Columbia. Mate, just a freshman, was named to the all-freshman team of the ACC. Halfway home in half number one. Your score, Maryland 0, North Carolina 0. A slow start for both teams. Contact in midfield and a foul given. Maryland will set up a throw-in. Picoto to Masarika. Defended and taken away by Frogson. Over towards Hansen, and Hansen trips and falls again. Now Kelp trying to play it long for GK. GK does nice to keep it in. He's got one-on-one with Emmanuel Mate. GK rolling with the ball, plays it to Andronika. Now Castabile keeping with it. Castabile takes a shot just over the crossbar. Luca Castabile from about 22 yards out. Got some real power into that, had the space and elected to fire. I like that chance from Luca Castabile. Just off target, about 3 or 4 yards over the crossbar, but I like the opportunity. I like the space that he was given, and I really like that he took advantage of it, tried to get something going.
So quick how the tempo can change. Luca Castabile just using that to his advantage. Nobody knew that shot was coming.
Soccer is such an interesting sport, especially at the collegiate level, because a lot of times the goals don't really come from any particular attacking setup. They often come out of nowhere, and we saw that in the Washington game on Halloween night. Maryland scored their lone goal, and Albia Andronika header where he was just kind of in the right place at the right time off of a broken set piece, so you didn't really think that that would be where the goal came from, but that was where it came from. And then the UCLA game, Maryland kind of dominated that entire game. They outshot the Bruins, they outshot them on target. But then in the last 20 minutes, 2 goals seemingly out of nowhere for the Bruins. And just like that, it was 2-0 UCLA, and in a game that Maryland can pretty confidently say that they had controlled for much of the game. They dropped that one, and it wasn't particularly close.
We talk a lot about complacency in soccer, and especially with this bye week, Maryland they're not going to want to be complacent for this game. Yes, they're ranked number 4, but it's never a guarantee in the tournament to get any further.
Deep throw in the Tar Heels' own half. Ball at his feet, shot fired, deflected over the crossbar. It was a low ball fired in by Andrew Czech, and it was in the direction of a big crowd inside the box. And it gets it deflected off of its hairpin. It just ticked well over the crossbar, but it goes out for a corner kick. So this will be UNC's first corner of this game.
29, Gabriel Bracken-Sarah.
Over in the corner to take this one is Nacho Abeyal, the grad student from A Coruña, Spain, transferring in from SIU Edwardsville, where he was second team all-conference last year. And this year he's tied for the team lead with 6 goals, tied with Dan Klink, who will probably see off the bench, the local kid from Loyola Blakefield. Abeyal ranks 6th in the conference in the ACC with 21 points.
Don't forget 10th nationally, tied for ACC lead with his 9 assists.
Ball played in, deflected off of the head of Kelp, still in contest in the box. It falls to Czech. Czech tried a first chance opportunity. It goes well left, but it was deflected, and it will go out for a second straight corner in quick succession for the Tar Heels.
I think it's a little slow in the defending from Maryland. Nobody was really stepping up there. It's a pretty open shot from the top of the box for the Tar Heels.
North Carolina corner will be taken by number 7, Nacho Abeyal.
In the corner again is Nacho Abeyal. His short option is Gabriel Bracken-Sarah, the grad student from Berkeley, California, transferring in from the University of San Francisco. Now Bracken-Sarah will stand over the corner as they flip-flop. Abeyal, the short option for Bracken-Sarah. But it is going to be the grad student, the 5th year, setting this one in, curling it in with the right. Dangerous ball, but headed away by Costabile. Chance for UNC, but a quick shot taken and missing to the left by Andrew Czech. Goal kick for Lauren Mack, and after 2 quick corners, UNC still cannot muster a shot on target. Up ahead, Costabile. Costabile one-on-one with Nikolai. Nikolai tugs the jersey a little bit, tugs it again. Costabile still working with it, and now it goes out for a UNC throw. So nice job by Nikolai, perhaps getting away with a little bit of a tug of the jersey and marking up Costabile well. Forward for Frogson. On the far side with Abeyal. Abeyal marked up by Cisse and Masarika. Now for Frogson, defended by Picoto. Back to Sandmeyer, over to Burge. Burge to Luka Nikolai. Played forward by Mate, just trying to get that one out of harm's way, and it goes out for a goal kick for Lauren Mack in Maryland.
27 minutes gone by and only 5 shots on goal. What are you thinking about that, Peter?
Yeah, it's been a slow start so far, I would say. This is really eerily similar to what we saw 10 days ago in the UCLA game. Neither team started off particularly hot, but then the second half, the shots started to fire as both teams maybe got a little bit desperate. Not seeing a ton of opportunities in the first 45 minutes. Maryland maybe with a chance here. GK pushing towards the middle of the field. Tries to cross it back to Picoto. It was deflected, but it still finds its way to him. Now Riley Burge getting his right foot in there and dispossessing Joseph Picoto. Towards the middle of the field. Chris Steinleitner has it at his feet. He was tripped up and he goes down. The whistle blown, and Steinleitner in some pain right in the center circle.
I did not like that tackle. Studs on his boot were very high. Looked like it hit him in the knee almost.
Steinleitner still down on the field. The foul was given, and the free kick will be awarded to Maryland upon Steinleitner's rising. He is now to his feet. It looks like he's walking okay. He gives a thumbs up to Coach Sarovsky on the sideline. And now Maryland with a chance to set something up here. Free kick right in the center circle. In the Tar Heels half, though. Lasse Kelp standing over it. Tristan Rose falls back as the lone defender. Everyone else is pushed forward. Played laterally from Kelp to Cisse. Now to Masarika. Masarika moves past Callum Frogson, still working on Frogson. Nice one-on-one battle over there. Masarika back towards the middle of the field. Moves backwards with Cole. Cole gets it back towards the right side with Costabile. Costabile plays it to Steinleitner. Towards Makoto. One touch pass to Andronika. Fires a shot. Not a lot of power on that one, and rolls right into the waiting arms of Andrew Cordes.
Quick give and go. Andronika caught all the UNC defenders just watching, seeing what was going to happen, but right at Cordes.
Good to see Maryland just creating another chance, perhaps another building block to what could eventually be a goal in the future. Long shot taken by UNC off of the restart, and it misses wide into the right by Luka Nikolai.
Now into the match for the Tar Heels, number 9, Dan Klink.
So we'll get our first substitute of the afternoon, and it is the aforementioned Dan Klink. Tied for the team leading goals with 6. He replaces Bertil Rygaard Hansen. The sophomore subs out, and the freshman, the true freshman, Dan Klink, subs in. National Gatorade Player of the Year in soccer, playing his soccer at Loyola Blakefield over in Towson, Maryland. Dan Klink in that Tar Heel blue, certainly a player that I myself am personally familiar with, as the high school that I went to and the high school that Dan went to are bitter rivals. So I certainly got my share of Dan Klink for 4 years at Calvert Hall.
Did you ever watch him play?
I watched him play quite a few times. Yeah, I got a chance to call a few of his games. Junior and senior year, when I took over as the main soccer guy, is when Loyola got really good and Calvert Hall kind of regressed. Calvert Hall, the national champions in 2022, my sophomore year, and then Loyola wins the conference back-to-back seasons, including going undefeated my junior year. Klink, an exceptional player, was the catalyst for many a goal against Calvert Hall, and he worked off his teammate Sammy Walker, who now plays at West Virginia. Those two were arguably the best high school soccer duo in the nation for 2 straight years.
You looking past that little rivalry for this call, Peter?
I guess I'm going to have to. I mean, he's still on the opposite side. It's funny how life works out, that the team that I support is still facing off against Dan Klink. But Klink, certainly a very talented player, very professional player. Free kick from Bracken Serra, tried to play it over towards Luka Nikolai and dispossessed by Costabile. Trying to move back forward for Masarika, and Masarika was tripped up. Masarika going down, just trying to change direction, and like we see again, it's just a little bit of a slippage. Andrew Czech forward for Nikolai. Marked up by Costabile. Nikolai moving slowly with it, gives a cheeky back heel to Andrew Czech. Marked one-on-one with Leon Cole. Ball goes out for a Maryland throw. Nice one-on-one defending there by Leon Cole. The German from Cologne. Did his academy football at Bayer Leverkusen. In midfield, Masarika off of his chest, now off of his right boot, comes down with it. Plays it across the halfway line in the direction of Andronika, but it's a poor ball. It will trickle out of play for a UNC throw.
I'm just seeing Dylan Kropp holding his leg a little bit. Seems to be that right quad. He's limping. It might be something head coach Carlos Simono is going to want to look at.
Certainly an integral player on this UNC back line, the transfer in from Xavier University. Hopefully they can get him healthy, because he's going to be a big part of stopping this Maryland attack. First wave of substitutes in for the Terrapins. They're going to check in Jace Clark, who comes off the bench for the first time this season, replacing Farouk Cisse. Also checking in midfield is Kenny Quist-Thurston, the junior from Ellicott City. Did not see him in the UCLA game, but he checks in today. Hard contact given from Bracken Serra right against Luka Costabile, and Costabile does well to win a free kick in his own half. And then the third substitute in is Rocket Rita. Mentioned earlier, also a member of the Big Ten all-freshman team with his teammate Farouk Cisse. Rita, the freshman from Canton, Georgia, trained at Charlotte FC Academy. Was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the week of September 6th after a 1-goal, 2-assist performance against Pacific. played in 12 games this year, has started 3, and he's recorded 2 goals and 5 assists for a total of 9 points. Up ahead for GK. GK guarded by Mate. GK strolling with it. Now he's joined by a Convoy, trying to cut back towards the middle of the field. GK still moving with it. Plays it to Steinleitner over to Costabile. Luca Costabile to Leon Cole. Cole still with it. Leon Cole with some space. Thinking about a shot, now keeping with it at his feet. Across the field to Jace Clark. Clark to Masarika. Masarika working against Abiel. Now moving backwards, he's given a little bump. No whistle. Ref says play on, and now UNC has advantage. Masarika still down, forward for Abiel. Nice job by Tristan Rose to stay back and get it away from Nacho Abiel. Masarika rises up with his arms in the air saying, where was the whistle?
I've loved watching this partnership of Kelp and Rose all season. They read each other like a book every single time. One moves forward, one goes back. Classic defending.
Classic Kelp, one of 7 selections for a Big Ten All-Conference team. One of 6 on the first team from Maryland. A total that has not been reached since 2017 for one team. Classic Kelp, certainly deserving of that honor, but I wonder what the voters were doing when they snubbed Tristan Rose from any team. Tristan Rose has been arguably just as good at that center back position. And here he is. He heads this one up into the air, goes right back up forward and heads it out of harm's way. Skied in, looking towards Dan Klink. Dan Klink was tangled up with a Maryland defender. Shot thought about, tripped up outside the box by Kenny Quist-Thurston. Is Nacho Abiel. No whistle given. Masarika chasing after it in the far corner against Dylan Kropp. Throw in will be taken quickly. Maryland in its attacking third. Here's Rocket Rita Rita. Rita Rita back towards Kenny Quist-Thurston. Quist-Thurston across the field to GK. Costabile runs behind him. GK thought about playing it to him. He's tripped up. He loses it. No foul given. No foul should be given. GK just lost it there, trying to get a little bit fancy. Had the runner Costabile. Did not elect to play him. Under 10 minutes to play in half number 1. Still scoreless in this NCAA second round matchup between the 4 seed, the Maryland Terrapins, and the unseeded North Carolina Tar Heels. Tar Heels came into this one 9 wins, 5 losses, and 5 draws. They finished towards the bottom of the pack in the ACC, finished 9th in the standings. They bowed out of the ACC tournament with a 2-1 loss to the 1 seed in the NCAA, or in the ACC tournament, the University of Virginia. Virginia, the 2 seed nationally. They'll play at 5 p.m. today against UNC Greensboro.
I'd say it's been a very evenly matched game so far in these past 36 minutes. Very back and forth, even though Maryland does lead in shots 4-1.
I know Maryland has the national seed attached to their name on the bracket, but I think when you reach the NCAA tournament, all these teams are good, and these teams are elite to be able to get here, and especially a team like North Carolina, when maybe they didn't have the season that they were looking for, but it's a team that you always have to watch out for because of how storied their program is, because of how good their head coach, Carlos Simwano, is, and because of how well they recruit every year. I mean, pulling the National Gatorade Player of the Year in high school soccer in Dan Klink is no easy feat, and they've done well to get him to buy in coming off the bench. I mean, Dan Klink has not started a game this year, but he's still tied with his team leading goals. He's filling in his role, and that's something that UNC has really emphasized. They're going to stick to their core values. They're going to play quick. They're going to play fast. They're going to play in control. But Coach Carlos Simwano has done well to train his team and prepare them for this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, funnily enough, UNC are the underdogs, something they probably aren't used to with such a extensive history. It's the 73rd matchup between UMD and UNC. So just another one to the table.
Yeah, matchup. Good to renew this rivalry between the longtime ACC rivals. 73rd matchup, but they have not faced off in 12 years. 2013 was the last time these two teams played. Maryland owns the advantage in the all-time series, 44 wins, 22 losses, and 5 draws. And in College Park, Maryland again dominant. 23 wins against the Tar Heels, just 10 losses and 1 draw. Certainly hard to look back that far for some history, especially because these are two very different programs now, and Although the head coaches remain the same from that last meeting in 2013, very little else does. Entirely new squads, entirely new history, and two teams with plenty of history. Some substitutes came in. Brian St. Martin subbed in for Stefan Gike. First time we've seen St. Martin in a few games. Some outcry in midfield. A free kick was awarded to the North Carolina Tar Heels that the fans here at Ludwig did not agree with. So St. Martin subs in, another local product from Baltimore County. Attended Mount St. Joseph High School, another rival of the Loyola Blakefield Dons, where Dan Klink attended. So
another one of your rivals?
Another one of our rivals, yeah. Less so than the Loyola Blakefield Dons. But Dan Klink and Brian St. Martin would have faced off in 2021 when Klink was a freshman and St. Martin was a senior. Brian St. Martin, head coach at MSJ, was his father, Mike St. Martin. Rocker Rita moving forward with it. He is dragged down by Emmanuel Mate.
That's going to be a yellow.
Fans here want a yellow, and they will get it.
That's a technical foul. He was in on goal. He was gonna pull the jersey back anyways.
So the first yellow awarded of this game. Rocket Rita moving forward with it, does well to win the yellow card. And the foul against Emmanuel Mate comes with about 5.5 minutes to go. A free kick from about 35 yards out for Chris Steinleitner. UMD places 6 inside the box. Masarika stands about 20 yards out of the box. Big tangle of Tar Heels and Terrapins. Right at that 18-yard line. Steinleiner's right hand is up. He hooks it in with the right foot. Getting his head to it is Quist Thurston, but it's headed the wrong direction. And now to the feet of St. Martin. St. Martin is pushed, and now forward is UNC. It's 1-on-6 for Nacho Abayel. He's trying to do something with it, but there's just too many Terrapins in the way. He tried to get it on goal somehow, but it falls slowly and harmlessly to Lauren Mack. Maybe not the best decision from Nacho Abayel. I mean, there was no blue jersey in sight that he could dish it off to. There were about 7 Maryland players.
I would have been very impressed if he could go 1v5 and still end up with the ball.
Yeah, that would have been probably SportsCenter top 10 worthy if he could dribble all the way through that crowd. But the effort was to no avail. Ball goes out for a UNC throw in their own half. So subbing in recently was Brian St. Martin, and also subbing in that break was Henry Bernstein. Bernstein, the freshman from Gladwine, Pennsylvania, a product of the Philadelphia Union Academy. We also saw one of his teammates 10 days ago, Zach Mastrodimos for UCLA, also a product of the Philadelphia Union Academy. Bernstein stubs in here. He was a top 100 recruit in the country as an amateur. 12 games this year. He's got 2 goals and an assist.
Local product from where I'm from, Gladwin, Pennsylvania.
There's so much talent in that Philadelphia area. And that Philadelphia Union Academy, of course. It's easy to point to the Sullivan brothers.
100%.
2 of the best young American talents we've seen in some time.
Their other 2 brothers just committed to St. Joe's.
UNC trying to move forward with it. Clark with a nice slide tackle against Nacho Abayel. Slide tackle was nice, but he does even better to move it to the left of the corner flag for a long throw instead of a corner. At least I believe that is what happened. Riley Burge runs over, and yes, he will pick up the ball, so it will be a long throw in, about as deep in the attacking third as you can get. UNC not overloading the box. They've got just 4 blue jerseys in there, with 4 waiting in reserve. The closest man to it was Sandmeyer, but a foul was called against UNC. Some illegal contact, and it will go back towards the Terrapins with 3 minutes to play in half number 1. Still scoreless here on WMUC Sports Radio. Lauren Mack lines up this goal kick. And he clears this one away in the direction of Steinleitner. Endured some contact on the way up, trying to go for it. Now Rita and Nikolai working. Back over towards Rocket Rita. Still moving with it, now backwards for Kelp. Kelp across the field to Tristan Rose. Over to Jace Clark. The back line fully intact to what it has been for much of the season after Jace Clark subbed back in for Farouk Cisse. That is the four that has done such a good job this year. Played forward from Masarika. A chance here. Masarika has to slow down and wait for the ball to catch him. Plays it for Rita Rita. Shot taken and the goal! Maryland strikes first, and it's Rocket Rita Rita with a rocket from 20 yards out.
Rocket Rita Rita, what a goal that was. Laid off right at the top of the box. Quick shot. Cortez nowhere near it.
An absolute stunner for the freshman off the bench, Rocket Rita Rita. Rita Rita picking up his third goal of the season and catalyzing yet again Saddam Masarika. He slowed down to get the long ball played in. It was a great ball. Masarika was through, but instead of forcing something, he turned to his left and he found the open man in Rita Rita. And with all kinds of space, Rocket fired one into the bottom left corner, and Andrew Cortez had no chance. Maryland jumping out to a 1-0 lead, and they do so with just 2 minutes to go in half number one.
That's a well-deserved goal for the Terrapins. They've been knocking on the door all first half. Got to keep the momentum up now. Game's not over.
Just a beautiful play, start to finish. And credit to Rocket Rita Rita, maintaining his composure.
What a finish that was. That was so composed.
I mean, you really can't do it any better than that from Rita Rita. Certainly deserving of a goal there. And also, credit to another substitute for getting that one started. Jace Clark, the center back, not starting this game after starting every game previously. Comes off of the bench after getting a little banged up. Plays a beautifully long ball towards Masarika. And from there, it was Rocket Rita Rita to hammer it home. Just quality soccer all the way through from Maryland. Nothing really wrong about the defense from North Carolina either. I mean, perhaps they gave Rita Rita a little bit of space, but in general, I thought it was just a really well taken shot.
Yeah, I'd say the same. There's not really much the defense can do about that. Maybe just anticipating the ball a bit quicker.
Played forward by Bernstein for Masarika. Masarika tracking it down, moving against Riley Burge. It goes out for a Maryland throw, and they're attacking third. Under a minute to go in half number one. It's Maryland who struck first in the second round of this NCAA tournament. They lead this one 1-0 off of the goal from Rocket Rita Rita, assisted by Saddam Masarika and Jace Clark. For Masarika, it's his third assist of the year. In his hat-trick game, he also recorded an assist on the Stefan GK goal that made it 4-3. 30 seconds to go. Brian St. Martin with the ball in his hands for the throw-in. The clock is now stopped at 30 seconds. And it seems like this will be likely the last chance in the half for Maryland.
Just telling him to move back on the sideline a little bit. Seemed to have gone quite a way forward.
St. Martin for Kelp. Kelp high arcing ball towards the back post. Steinleitner heads it back towards Bernstein. Bernstein crosses it back in the direction of Rita Rita, but headed away by Burge. Now over towards Nikolai. 15 seconds to go. Nikolai working against Gustabile. Gets it only as far as Quist Thurston. Quist Thurston comes down with it. 10 seconds to go. It's all the way across the halfway line. It seems like Maryland will just be content to hold this one into the halftime break. Mack sends it into the crowd, and that is how half number one will end. After a stagnant start from both teams, it's the Maryland Terrapins, the number 4 nationally ranked seed, that jump out in front. Rocket Rita Rita gets it done, assisted by Masarika and Clark. And after 45, the Maryland Terrapins lead this one 1-0. Sydney, as we take a look at that first 45 minutes of play, it took a while, but we finally had our first shot on goal, and it went in for goal number 1 of this game. What did you like about how Maryland kind of changed their approach throughout the half, and what do you think that Maryland can do to hold on to this lead?
I really liked how they just kept going. A lot of the times when teams are struggling, they just don't, they get stuck in their heads a little bit. They don't really capitalize on their opportunities as well as they should have, because they know they should be scoring. They know they should be winning, but they're not. And that's what really tends to stop a lot of teams mentally. But that did not stop Rocket Rita Rita and Saddam Masarika with that goal. And that's what they're going to need for this second half to keep the game 1 or more nothing.
Well said. It's good for Maryland to get out to a lead. After we saw last Wednesday, the first half ended scoreless, and UCLA was able to take that one late in the contest. 45 down, 45 to go at Ludwig Field. We've got 15 minutes in halftime, and we'll be right back with you for second half action here on WMUC Sports.
Welcome back to Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland. We are here with WMUC Sports Radio. I am Sydney Schwartz alongside Peter Kelly. Our score is 1-0. The Terrapins lead after a missile from the freshman, Rocket Rita. The Terps look to enter the second half on a high horse and hold on to that lead. Peter, UNC are going to come out with some fire under their feet. So what do you think they're going to look to change in these next 45 minutes?
Yeah, a hire that made national news over the spring was that Bill Belichick was hired for the UNC football coaching position. What he's known for is making really good halftime adjustments, and I think head coach Carlos Simwano is going to make some halftime adjustments here today on the soccer pitch. Simwano is no stranger to this. 14 of his 15 years, he's been in the NCAA tournament. So I think to come out, they just got to keep playing their style of play. This is exactly what happened last week against North Florida. UNC was down 1-0 in that game until the 70th minute when a sensational Jack Sandmeyer bicycle tied it up. So I think they can get the equalizer. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, that was an incredible goal from Sandmeyer as we are underway in this second half. That was a foul called against UNC, and it's going to be an attacking opportunity very early on in this second half. Right outside the 18-yard line.
Looks like Stefan GK standing over it.
GK always a dangerous player for the Terps. Very dangerous from these dead ball situations they are. So here's going to be Stefan and GK. Ball in over the top. Almost gets the header. Looks like Tristan Rose, but Cortez gets his hands to it. Slowing down the tempo a little bit, letting his team get back up, and that's Kropp now. Plays it short. Kropp again over the top this time. Doesn't quite get past Tristan Rose. Whistle's called again. This time UNC's ball, but some more afters from, this time, Gabriel Bracken-Serra.
Yeah, a bit of a collision in midfield after the whistle was blown. Andrew Czech was standing with the ball in his hand, and maybe intentionally, maybe not, but Lasse Kelp just kind of ran in his direction, got their feet tangled up and went down. Caused an outrage from the crowd here at Ludwig, but I think the referee will just give him a quick talking to and they'll move on.
Yeah, free kick going. Well, looks like it's going to be going UNC's way, even though that foul was on a Maryland player, but perhaps the after part was the reason why. It's going to be Nikolai standing over the ball for the Tar Heels. Right in the middle of their attacking third. Plays the ball over, headed away by Costabile, and then headed out by Picoto. Finds Masareka, but it's recovered by Abeal, who plays it to Dylan Kropp. Kropp just losing out to Masareka, who's going himself. Finds a GK. GK slowing it down. Switches the field looking for Picoto, who keeps it in. Picoto 1v1 now on Kropp. Plays it back to Farouk Cisse. Cisse to Rose. Rose just losing out on the ball. And that's going to be a foul on Rose. I'm not entirely sure what that foul was on. Not a great call from the referee, in my opinion.
Yeah, the fans here, maybe the most mad they've been today at a call from this referee crew. The referee is trying to explain his reasoning to Coach Sasho Sarovsky, but to be honest, it looked like much of the contact was on Bertil Rygaard Hansen, on Tristan Rose. But the foul is called against Rose, and it sets up a free kick for UNC just over the halfway line.
It's going to be Frogson over the ball for UNC. You can hear the crew here at Ludwig Field chanting against the referee on that one, but it's cut out by Steinleitner, who sends it the other way to the GK. GK now 1v2. All the way himself on the left sideline. Still going, looking for that cross into the box, just deflected a little bit from Mate, who swings it out. That's one back by Costabile this time. Now Cole. Cole to GK. GK tries to look all the way back. That's cut out by Rygaard Hansen now on the other side. Rygaard Hansen going himself. Cross halfway and almost to the box, but that's cut out by Lasse Kelp for Maryland. Finds GK again on the sideline. Maryland just slowing it down a little bit, gaining possession very early on in this half, sorry. I'm watching too much basketball.
Can never watch too much basketball.
That's Androneka chasing. Wins out, but cut out again by Andrew Check for UNC, who swings it to Mate. Plays it over. Strong header from Tristan Rose. UNC back on the ball with Krop. Krop to Frogson. Back to Krop. Krop looking down the line, but that's one out by Tristan Rose, who plays it back to Mack. Goes all the way long, looking for Androneka, who stops the chase, but UNC ball. Headed back by Riley Burge. Burge from Columbia, Maryland. B said this is a homecoming for him. Not too far from College Park in Columbus, Maryland. Bit of a trip up from Cortez as Picotto wins the header off the goal kick. Burge now off the sideline, just plays it out of bounds. Maryland throw for Farouk Cisse. We didn't see the sprinklers come on during half, but that is not stopping the slipping and falling for the players on both teams.
Yeah, the grass in front of the goal for Andrew Cortez is really beat up.
That's a bad giveaway from Steinleitner. Here comes Nikolai flying down the right side, just waiting for a teammate, plays the ball in. And that's very important header from Tristan Rose, who's cleared out by Farouk Cisse, but doesn't get ahead on that ball, and that's open for Rygaard Hansen. Frogson with the throw, finds Rygaard Hansen. Nacho Abial now. Over to Sandmeyer. Sandmeyer out to the left. Abial. Now Brecken Serra trying to play it in. That's cut out by Maryland's defense. Here comes Masareka flying. Little bit of a jersey tug from Sandmeyer. Ref says play on. Masareka by himself. And that's cut out eventually, but Masareka still giving chase. Sandmeyer now for UNC. Sandmeyer finds Abial. Looking to the right side this time with Nikolai. Just held up by Costabile, but Nikolai cuts into the middle. 1v2, leaves Cole on the ground. Now Brecken Serra. Abial. Abial into the middle. Quick shot taken right at Mack. That was Nikolai coming in. Not too bad of a shot. Getting a lot of power on it from outside the 18, just right at Lauren Mack's hands.
I think we're going to see a little more of that in the second half, especially as UNC faces a 1-goal deficit. Very long shot taken, probably 25, 26 yards out from Luka Nikolai. Got some power into it, right into the hands of Lauren Mack, who didn't really have to move his feet at all. But for a team that just recorded their first shot on goal, they're probably going to take a little bit more of a long chances like those.
We are going to see another yellow card to another UNC defender, or attacker, sorry. That's Nacho Abial with a little bit of a push in the back and Steinleitner. Abial coming from Spain, the graduate student. He's been a very important player for UNC, but
yellow card assessed to North Carolina, number 23.
During this little break, we can recap. It is 1-0 Maryland lead here at Ludwig Field. We are 51 minutes in out of a 90-minute game. Got a whole second half to go, and we're already seeing a lot of action underway as the ball is played back to Mack. Over to Kelp. Kelp, being hassled by Nikolai, has to play it back to Lauren Mack, who just tries to clear it away, but it's won by Sandmeyer. Sandmeyer. Nikolai gets the contact, tries the shot from distance, but Lasse Kelp shuts it down, and the ball goes wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Maryland. Maryland holding most of the possession in this game and have more shots on goal, even though only one of those have gone in so far. This was actually UNC's first shot on goal, or on target, that they've had, and it's coming in the second half. Maryland on the ball. Goes out of play for a throw. It's Mate for UNC on the far sideline. Just handing it off to Nikolai over there. Taking his time, a couple boos from the crowd for how long this is taking to send the ball in. Tries the throw, one out by Steitleitner, and then one by Picoto. Here comes Cisse. Picoto intercepted from Sandmeyer. Sandmeyer finds a teammate, great ball through. Down to the sideline, wide open was Abeal. And, well, that's a UNC goal, Nacho Abeal. Ball came all the way through the box. Maryland's defense just can't clear it properly, and outs Nacho Abeal from close distance. Right to the bottom left, exactly where Rocket Rita hit that goal. This in the first half.
Impressive play from North Carolina there. Nice ball played through by the captain in midfield, Andrew Check. Towards the end line, Bertil Rygaard Hansen did good to track it down. He played it across goal. Wide open was Gabriel Bracken-Serra. He whiffed his chance, but it fell all the way through to Nacho Abeal, who did not miss his. Slots it calmly in the bottom left corner. No chance for Lauren Mack to catch up to that one. He was still bracing for the shot from Bracken-Serra, who was so wide open in front of the net.
Yeah, made it through a couple of UNC players and all of Maryland's defense to get to Abeal, who was wide open on the left-hand side. After that one, we saw Maryland, those 11 out there on the field, huddle together for a little bit of a talk. We talk about complacency all the time in soccer, and Maryland looks to be on the front foot at the beginning of the second half, but with this goal from UNC, not anymore.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. After the goal, UNC celebrating, of course, after they equalized, but they wanted to get right back towards the center circle. And Maryland, they did not have their heads down. They didn't mope around like they did in the UCLA game. Instead, it was the leader of this team, Tristan Rose, motioning everyone back to him for a huddle. And all the attackers were pulled back into the defensive huddle and just giving them a chance to regroup. There was no complacency there. They want to get another goal. They just said, okay, we'll move on. We'll score again.
Maryland are now on the attack, finding Cole on the left side. Cole into Picoto in the middle. Picoto just taken down right outside the box. No whistle from the referee. UNC making their way out, and now here comes the whistle, but it's a UNC free kick.
Yeah, it looked very clean on the challenge from Farouk Cisse on Riley Burge, but there the whistle was given. Riley Burge very animated, very excited after drawing that foul.
Emotions are running high in the 54th minute. I think the referee needs to retake control of this game, otherwise it's going to get a little out of control both on and off the field.
I think for his own sake, he just needs to take control of the game. He's getting an earful from this Ludwig Field crowd.
And from the players on the field. Abeal was complaining about that one. Bracken-Serra was complaining about that one. Cleared away by Costabile. Maryland on the front foot. But Frogs, Burge beats him to it. Burge going up, that's going to be a foul on Saddam Masarika.
It's another animated reaction from this Ludwig Field crowd. It does seem like we have near another sellout today here at Ludwig. The last time that this Terps team was drawing crowds of this caliber as consistently as they were was 2018, the season that ended in red confetti for the Terrapins, where they won their most recent national championship. I think the fans can sense that this is the year that maybe the Terps have the best chance to do so since that year. Pretty egregious tug of the jersey there on Abeal. He really grabbed a handful of Farouk Cisse's red shirt, stretched it, turned pink.
I think that would be a yellow card if the ref actually saw that one, but he was not looking, does not stop play. Now Maryland swing it the other way. And Jernicka now wins out on the ball in the box. He goes down in the box, hands are up in the air, and he's smacking the ground. There's no whistle from the referee again. As Cordes is now on the ball.
I actually don't hate that call. It looked relatively clean, yeah. I mean, Androniko's right to be upset. He was dragged down with some force, but I think
tensions are high.
Yeah, I think after it stacks up like this, every call is just going to be magnified, and the reactions are just going to get more and more abrasive, regardless of how bad the call actually was.
The play is just becoming frantic from both sides. Nobody's really settling the ball. Nobody's really happy with the referee. Here's Mate for UNC. Mate to Rygaard Hansen, who just lets it run by him. Maryland throw.
It didn't start out the same way, but it's interesting how much this game is looking like the UCLA game in the Big Ten semifinal. The first half started out very stagnant, and while Maryland was able to push across a goal in today's first half, it was scoreless in last week's first half. It does seem like in the second half that trend of getting more and more upset over the calls is continuing.
Cisse played that ball over the top looking for Masareka, but that's cut out by Klink. Klink over to Frogson, and now Abayal double teamed, and it's going to be out for a UNC throw.
I know we mentioned that these teams were longtime ACC rivals before Maryland made the jump to the Big Ten in 2013, but you don't really need to have any pre-existing rivalries for this game to be competitive. Really, any game across the board this deep into the season, into the NCAA tournament, is going to be super competitive and super heated because teams are just going to play physical, and when they get down, they're going to be very aggressive. So it's going to be interesting to see how the referee can deal with that late in this game and how the crowd can maybe play an impact.
Yeah, we often see in professional games that referees do lose control, and when they lose control, the game just goes very downhill. Not just from a player standpoint, but from a broadcaster standpoint. It's not the same. The energy isn't the same. But we're still seeing a lot of action. Here's Saddam Masareka 1v1. It's great defending from Burge. And now Burge comes out with the ball. That was very dangerous for Saddam Masareka. Just missing out on that opportunity as UNC now lose the ball. Here's Spakoto. Dancing his way through past three. Finds Masareka top of the box. Masareka holding on to the ball. Sandmeyer just gets the touch, and it's going to be a Maryland corner.
That was a dangerous pass through from Stefan Gike over to Masareka. I was surprised the flag stayed down initially. It seemed like the ref was going to let him play advantage, but I did think Masareka was a little bit offside there.
Yeah, seemed to just held his run a little bit. No flag came up. We're going to see a Maryland quarter on this right-hand side, taken from Chris Steinleitner. Just about every Maryland player in the box, bar one. Ooh. Comes off the foot of Leon Cole? No, that might have been, I believe that was Tristan Rose. Tristan Rose all the way in the attack, nearly gets the goal, but cleared off the line.
Very good ball in from Chris Steinleitner. It did find Tristan Rose first out of all the crowded in the box. Rose got his right foot to it, didn't get a ton of power behind it, and it ended up being cleared away. But encouraging to see that corner kick actually finding a Maryland player instead of just being wasted.
Yeah, they haven't been too dangerous on their set pieces so far this game. It's usually been under hit, and there seems to be a player down for North Carolina right now, all the way at their end line. Our score is 1-1 with 59 minutes into the game and 30 minutes left in the second half. It is Riley Burge down, but he is back up. Now he's just going to be taken off the field very fast for a quick medical check. UNC had been on the front foot this second half. They've been coming out with a point to prove. They were losing 1-0 in the first, and they did give up a lot of opportunities in their game against North Florida where they had to go into penalty kicks. They're not going to want to repeat of last week. It's a goal kick from Cortez. Finds Leon Cole instead, but Sandmeyer picks it up for UNC, taking it forward. Sandmeyer wide to Nikolai. Nikolai finds Mate in the middle. Mate losing out. Andronika. That's a great ball forward to Saddam Masareka, who holds his run, but that's cut out by Callum Frogson. He's doing very well in that 1v1 versus Masareka. Sandmeyer in the middle again. Now check. Andrew Check. Deflection from Maryland. Abayal trying to win it out against Farouk Cisse. Goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a UNC corner this time. Lots of unhappy voices in the crowd right now. Maryland have so much riding on this game.
North Carolina corner will be taken by
Ranked
number 29,
4 in the tournament
Sarah.
against an unranked UNC. Had the bye week, had the time to prepare for this game, but just not going their way so far, even with their early lead. Ball played in. Just hits Andrew Check at the near post, and it's going to be a Maryland goal kick for Lauren Mack.
Yeah, no way to sugarcoat that one. It was an atrocious effort from Andrew Check. Headed that one about as high as he could over the bar.
Both side set pieces haven't been great. Barely making the front post. But UNC win back the ball. Now this time it's GK now. GK playing it long for Androneka. Winning the ball, lays it off for Picoto. Himself and Sandmeyer both missed the ball. Goes all the way through to Abayal. Abayal now switching the field. Check. Finding Bracken Sarah playing it wide, and it's cut out by Leon Cole, who wins it back for Maryland. All the way back to Lauren Mack in his 18-yard box. Finds Kelp. Plays it short to Cole. Just back and forth. Costabile plays it into the center for Picoto, who finds GK. Couple claims for a handball, but game plays on. GK going through the center. Long ball over to Farouk Cisse, just too far for Cisse to run onto as Cortez collects the ball. It looks tired out there.
I think this is just starting to wear on the teams a little bit. It's getting more and more physical. It's getting more and more heated, and the emotions running high can also mean your tempers run high, which is just going to make you more and more tired and more upset at any call that the referee makes. So I think, especially UNC, maybe their legs aren't the freshest coming off of the Thursday overtime and penalty kick victory. Maybe they're starting to get a little drained after they didn't use a lot of subs in that game, and they certainly haven't used a lot of subs in this game. We saw Dan Klink for 15 minutes in the first half replacing Bertil Rygaard Hansen, but that is the only substitute we've seen from Coach Samwano.
We have a Maryland throw-in. Farouk Cisse takes Steinleitner. Recycling back to Rose, who finds Kelp on the other side, who swings it to GK. GK finds Costabile all the way forward. A little bit of a rebound off Check. Falls to the ground, but goes out of play. Ref blows his whistle. There is a Maryland player down. I believe that is Luca Costabile with a little bit of a calf cramp. Has his teammate helping him out on that one.
We are knotted at 1 here in College Park. In the 64th minute, Maryland scored their first and only goal in the 43rd minute off of a beautiful ball in from Jace Clark to Masarika, who found the open man in Rocket Rita, and the freshman off the bench capitalized on the opportunity, giving Maryland a 1-goal lead. But just 10 minutes later, in the 54th minute, Nacho Abayal for North Carolina scored his 7th goal of the season, now all alone at the top for UNC's team lead in goals. He was assisted by Bertil Rygaard Hansen and Gabriel Bracken Sarah. That's how he got to where we are. And with just 27 minutes to play, we'll see if either team can find the goal to put them over the edge.
It's going to take a lot. So we just see another foul. And I think that's going to be another card, this time for Maryland. On Leon Cole, sliding in just a little bit late on Mate. a little bit late, more like a lot, very late, as pretty deserving of that card, unfortunately. It's going to be a free kick in UNC's half. Both teams are equal on fouls with 8 apiece. But that's 3 yellow cards now in this game. 2 for the Tar Heels, 1 for the Terps. Cisse clears the ball. That's won by Androneka, and here comes Saddam Masarika. But Cortez watches the ball bounce into his box and picks it up.
Taking a look around the bracket, as we're now in the NCAA tournament, just looking at the names and the brands of the teams remaining, it does seem like this is the game with the 2 most storied programs in collegiate soccer of this day. North Carolina and Maryland does seem to be the marquee game, and of course we've got a good one here. It's 1-1. Looking around the board, there are 2 Big Ten teams left in contention after UCLA was stunned in penalties by Grand Canyon. The Big Ten champions out in round number 1. After a scoreless draw, they lost that one on penalties. And then Michigan took a 1-0 loss to Notre Dame in round number 1. Sticking around from the Big Ten is Indiana, the number 6 seed. Actually lost today to St. Louis. A Tanner Anderson goal gave the Billikens a 1-0 victory in round number 2. So St. Louis, the first team to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16. And then the only other Big Ten team remaining are the Washington Huskies, who took an impressive double overtime win, 3-2 over Oregon State. Richie Amon, the Herman candidate, put them ahead in overtime number 2, and now they're taking on the SMU Mustangs. A very impressive team, top of the ACC. And that game's scoreless in the 25th minute.
Lots to play for, all sides of the bracket. There was a foul from Tristan Rose, and now there's a free kick outside the box for North Carolina. Dished into the far post, Lauren Mack gets his hands on it. Lauren Mack plays it out wide to Stabile, finds Cole. Cole out wide. Maryland throw. Let's lay on Cole once again. Castabile now. Going back to Lasse Kelp. Nipping at it was Rygaard Hansen, and it's going to be another Maryland throw. We're going to see Rocket Rita, the Maryland goal scorer, coming back in for the Terps, taking out Joseph Picoto. Maryland need that attacking firepower right now, especially as they are not on the front foot anymore. It's all even here in College Park, 1-1. 65 minutes have been played, 23 minutes remain.
I like this look for the Terrapins to bring in Rita as kind of a third attacker to join GK and Masarika up top. I think Maryland's doing a really good job in midfield, not necessarily with the midfielders, but with the wingbacks pushing up. I think Castabile's done a really great job, as well as Farouk Cisse and Lasse Kelp. I think they've done a great job getting it into midfield and keeping possession there. So I think turning to the bench for the offensive firepower that Rita brings, maybe the right call for Coach Sasho.
Yeah, they've got a lot of speed now on the pitch. It's going to look to go Maryland's way. They've got fast players in Masarika, GK, Rita now. Castabile is always quick on the ball currently, now GK. One of those very fast players we've seen streaking down the field. Finds Rita all the way over. Now Cisse. Cisse gets by one, tries the ball in. That's deflected. It goes back to Steinleitner. Plays the dangerous ball in, headed away. Maryland still maintain possession with Cole. Cole finds GK. GK just slips a little bit. Now comes Nikolai. Nikolai trying to find that long ball forward, but can't get by Lasse Kelp. Kelp tries to play it long, takes the deflection. It's a Maryland throw. Luka Nikolai is on the ground for UNC right now, holding his ankle. Didn't really seem like much of a foul to me, but perhaps just a little bit of a collision afterwards.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Luka Nikolai rise to his feet without consequence here. He didn't get the whistle he was looking for, and now he'll limp off, but
he's fine.
My suspicion is he'll be able to play on valiantly.
My suspicion is that there wasn't much in that in the first place. Cisse on the ball to Rita. Rita into the center. Klink just plays it out, finds Abayal. Abayal all the way back now, still with Klink. Sandmeyer finds Check, and now Lasse Kelp makes the step forward, reads the play, wins the ball back, but only so far as Abayal now on the left side. Abayal up against Cisse. Finds the pass for Bracken Sarah, but Abayal goes down in the process. Not happy that there wasn't a call there. And now the ref blows his whistle.
Yeah, Abayal certainly creating a scene, just rolling around on this near sideline. The UNC trainers will come out. Abayal holding his face. Maybe there was some contact to his eye or nose.
This is going to be an opportunity for the players to take a little bit of a break, reset, recuperate.
The previous play is under review.
Understand that there is a tie in this game and that they will go to overtime unless one scores.
UNC, no stranger to overtime and penalty kicks, especially in the NCAA tournament. We mentioned before their game in the first round versus North Florida went to overtime after a sensational last-second goal by Luke Graniter. They played 20 minutes of overtime and then a penalty kick shootout, which the Tar Heels won 6-5. Not only that, but last year their season ended in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They lost at home to Furman on penalties. So they played that game scoreless through 90 and then another 20 of overtime into penalties, where Furman eventually took that one. The Paladins advanced 5-3. And looking back at that team, that was a team that went 9 wins, 4 losses, 5 draws, but they ended the year with 3 straight losses, but maybe lost a little bit of momentum going into the NCAA tournament. And an important note about that team, only 3 of 11 starters from that game returned to this team this year. Andrew Check is one of them, the captain in midfield, and the goalkeeper, Andrew Cordes. The other third starter to return is Parker O'Farrell, who's mostly come off the bench this year. So 9 out of 11 starters for UNC in this game were nowhere to be found in last year's game. They may have came off the bench, but for the most part, it's an entirely new Tar Heel team.
We are looking to get underway once again shortly. After a quick review from the referees. Just looking a little bit closer at that foul that took Abayal off for a quick moment, but nothing to do with it, says the referee. Our score remains 1-1 as the drop ball is played to Lauren Mack. Lauren Mack just picks it up, spins it wide to Lasse Kelp. Kelp to Castabile. Looking long for Saddam Masarika. Defended well, but Masarika wins out on the ball. And now the referee blows his whistle, and I do not think that is a great call from the referee there. That was not a foul on Saddam Masarika.
Yeah, to be honest, I think after that challenge, I think the referee had already made up his mind that he was going to blow a whistle regardless of how the play turned out. It was on one-on-one between Saddam Masarika from Maryland and Dylan Kropp, the defender for UNC. Kropp gave a little bit of contact. Masarika, I think, gave a justified amount back, but the referee doesn't think so. He thinks it was enough to warrant a whistle, and that kills the Maryland attack.
I'm really not sure about that call. There was not much in that. But once again, play is stopped. And now Maryland are back on the ball. In the midfield, still in the air. UNC winning out now. Just going back and forth. Nobody really settling. Push in the back, Maryland ball. We have 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes remaining in this second half. It is 1-1 here in College Park. All tied up after an early second half goal from Nacho Abayal, who's on the ball now. Nacho Abayal going himself, gets his legs swept out from under him by Steinleitner.
Yeah, this is just a very confusing call. I mean, people have been stumbling and slipping around all day, and Abayal did the same thing that everyone's been doing all day. He just tried to change direction and falls down, but the referee somehow thinks Steinleitner got his leg in there and swept the leg, but I disagree a little bit. Abayal is completely fine, but the player to look at is Farouk Cisse, who's still down around the center circle, holding his knee.
Did you see what happened?
I think it was a little bit in the build-up. I think Cisse just endured some hard contact. Initially, I didn't think there was much to it. It looked like he just kind of went down on his own volition. But a trainer has come out to meet him, so he's helped to his feet now, but it looks like he's unable to put a ton of weight on his right leg, which is not what you want to see because Cisse is already in the starting lineup because of the injury to the man behind him, Jace Clark. Now, Clark's going to check in, but coming off of the bench today means Clark maybe not in the best physical condition to play a full 90. He's going to have to probably finish out this game unless Cisse can come back in. But for 20 minutes, it's going to be Jace Clark subbing back into that back line.
Jace Clark's been very strong for Maryland all year. It was tough to see him leave in that UCLA game, which arguably those 2 goals came when he wasn't on the pitch. So perhaps a sign of how important he is to this Terrapin side. Count Frogson stands over the ball, but lets Nikolai take it. Drifting run over and meets the head of, I believe to be Andrew Czech, but just goes out for a goal kick. That was Sam Meyer, actually. Sam Meyer has a lot of height on this side. Scored a great bicycle kick goal in their last game against North Florida, but only enough to get them into penalty kicks. This time, Maryland on the other side. Saddam Masareka takes it on the bounce, but completely skies it over the net.
Interesting decision from Masareka there. He had 2 Tar Heel defenders on him. And he was able to get to that ball, and with some space, he elects to shoot. He was still running kind of full speed, and he takes a first touch chance. Sends it well over the crossbar. He had Rocket Rita surging in behind him. It would have been tough to somehow play it back to him, but maybe if he had corralled it in the box, kept it in play, it would have been tough because he was running so fast, but just something to think about.
I think it was fair for him to take the opportunity. Goalkeeper was off his line, maybe trying to chip it a little bit just over Cordez's head, but doesn't really find his footing. Here comes UNC with Nikolai. Nikolai just cut out by Kelp. Kelp misses out on the second ball. But this time, here comes Androneka. Androneka looking all the way to Masareka. Masareka is 1v1 with lots of UNC help coming back. Finds in GK. GK now cleared away by UNC, and that's another attack wasted. Maryland find their way back on the ball with Steinleitner. Steinleitner going himself. Again cut out. Kling clears the ball away, and here come UNC, but this time it's a foul. And there's the whistle. That was on Androneka. Just clips the back of his foot as he was recovering towards his defensive half. A lot of stoppages in this game so far. We're into the double digits on fouls.
Something that's been interesting to me is about 8 minutes ago, Rocket Rita subbed back in for Joseph Picotto. And in the 8 minutes of play since, he has not had a touch. They've tried to play through Masareka a few times and work off of that deadly duo of Masareka and GK, but they haven't really looked towards Rocket Rita's side of the field. He scored the first goal for them. Maybe he can provide some magic if he can just get the ball.
You're right, he really has not found the ball as he's come on. Looking to make an impact, he's going to need to find it. Here come UNC on the attack. Shot taken and it's wide. We're hearing that there are 2 number 23s on for UNC right now. One in Callum Frogson, and what is probably another Callum Frogson jersey elsewhere. A little bit of confusion down on the field, but the referee does not see it like how we do from our vantage point.
Yeah, there's one fan in particular that's very upset. He'd like the game to be stopped, that there are 2 number 23 jerseys. I think the other 23 is Bracken Sarah, who wears 29. Maybe it just looks like a 23.
Perhaps it just looks like... No, that is another 23 jersey on Bracken Sarah. I don't know how that mix-up could have happened, but...
Yeah, bizarre scenes.
Maryland are back on the ball with Jace Clark just cutting in. Past Abayal, loses his footing. Looking for the long ball to maybe find a racing Rita or GK, but to no success. Cordez collects. is a limited amount of time goalkeepers are allowed before they play the ball, but Cortez likes to test that countdown a little bit. Drops the ball, kicks it forward, but one out by Steinleitner. Now it's Rita. It's out for a UNC throw.
Got about 15 minutes to go in this contest, still squared away at 1-1 between North Carolina and Maryland. I think both teams wouldn't mind overtime, but I think for differing reasons. I think Maryland, because they have the fresh legs given to them by that bye that they earned by being the national seed, they may think that they're a little bit more well-rested to prepare for 20 more minutes of soccer. But I think on the other side, UNC, they just did this. They just played overtime on Thursday night. So I think they may have the experience and know what it's going to take to punch one across in the extra period. So it wouldn't be surprising to me to see the teams kind of sag off a little bit, not be too aggressive. I mean, of course, you'd love to score in the regulation 90, but I don't think either team would be really devastated if this one goes into the overtime.
No. Coach Swarovski also tends to use more substitutions for his Terrapin side than on their counterparts in blue, but that might be something that changes if overtime is a possibility. There's another whistle now. It's going to be a Maryland free kick. Dangerous position once again in their attacking third. It's GK standing over it, identical to one, very similar in the first half. Maybe this time Maryland can capitalize. Only have 15 minutes left before a potential overtime if one team does not score. GK plays it in. Cleared away by Frogson. Masareka tries to play it in, but only so far as Cortez, who lets it go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, going back to that topic, we know Maryland likes to use substitutes. Coach Sasho is certainly not afraid to dip into his bench. He recruits well enough that he believes that he has a lot of depth on the bench that can match the talent in the starting 11. But on the flip side, I'm really surprised to see Coach Samwano for UNC not really dip into his bench at all. We saw Dankling for 15 minutes in the first half, but that was it. They've stuck with their starting lineup for the first 30 minutes of the first half and here for the entirety of the second half. They didn't use a ton of substitutes against North Florida. They used 4, but I'm surprised we haven't seen someone like Charlie Antonelius or Yaya Bakayoko, who both played significant minutes in that North Florida game, in particular Antonelius, who assisted the go-ahead goal by Dan Klink in the 88th minute. So we'll see if maybe they come off the bench late in this contest. But as of right now, I think this team might be getting a little winded, and I'm surprised Coach Samwano hasn't made a change.
Oftentimes it's about momentum for coaches who don't like to substitute players. They like what they're seeing, even if maybe a goal isn't being scored or the chances that they want aren't being created, but at least they have the momentum. They're going forward, they're moving the ball well, and perhaps that's what Coach Samwano is seeing for his side right now. Here comes Steinleitner, going himself past 1 and 2. Past that field, but it's blocked by Nikolai. All the way back for Tristan Rose and Lasse Kelp. Maryland's defense now with Jace Clark in the side after Farouk Cisse had to come off. Plays it forward to Masareka. Defended well by Klink, and it's going to be a prop, and it's going to be a throw-in. Jace Clark again, all the way back for Lasse Kelp. Over to GK. GK looking to go 1v1. Cuts it back to Steinleitner outside the 18. Who looks to find Rita, but that's read very well from Abayal, who's chasing the ball down. And that's won by Tristan Rose.
Maryland substitution now checking back in the match, number 10.
We're seeing Rocket Rita check back out for Joseph Bakoto. Like-for-like change that we saw minutes ago in the second half.
Yeah, kind of a useless shift for Rocket Rita, if I'm being honest. And I don't think by any fault of his own. He subbed on for about 15 minutes. Didn't really get much action. Didn't really get a chance to record another shot. And then came right back off for Joseph Bakoto. So, interesting choice by Coach Sasho to bring back on the veteran Bakoto. But Bakoto has certainly been invaluable for this team this year.
Bakoto has the experience over Rita and has continued to be a great attacking threat for Maryland throughout the regular season and, of course, in the Big Ten tournament before they had to leave. But he's a valuable player, as you mentioned. All the way back now is Lauren Mack on the ball in the 18-yard box.
Got just about 11 minutes to go. We've got a great game here in College Park, but I want to draw your attention to another great game happening with the #1 team in the country, the Vermont Catamounts. They're the only team to remain undefeated, but right now they're losing to the Hofstra Pride 2-1 in the 69th minute. After 2 quick goals by Hofstra in the span of 2 minutes, the #1 team, the only unbeaten team left in this nation, is in danger of going out in their first game.
In the meantime, we've just seen another yellow card giving to a UNC player.
UNC yellow card
that is on Luka Nikolai.
Luka Nikolai.
Interesting spot for the free kick from Maryland. Not a competitive spot to put a shot on goal.
Tar Heels
But certainly a spot to put it into the box.
Dan Klink.
3 yellow cards for UNC. Just 1 for Maryland, but that's an interesting one. With the rate this game is going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody get 2 and a potential sending off, but you never really want to see that in a game of this caliber. Ball's played in off the free kick. Cortez gets his hands to it. Good save, but it's back to Maryland now. Lauren Mack all the way off his 18.
And before that free kick was taken, UNC finally dipping back into their bench. They go to Dan Klink. Dan Klink got the go-ahead goal in the 88th minute off of a header against North Florida in round #1. He subs back in for Gabriel Bracken-Serra, and he provides a lot of height in the attacking third for UNC. All 6 of his goals this year have come via the header.
Dan Klink, Peter Kelly's long-term high school rival, returns to the field. It's a UNC throw-in on the far side by that NCAA D1 Men's Soccer Championship sign here at Ludwig Field. Maryland come out with the ball. Find Masareka, settles it beautifully. Pass 1. Very strong from Saddam Masareka, who tries to go himself, and it's cut out, and now the referee calls another foul on Masareka. Masareka is not happy. That's been many in this half called against him.
The crowd is very angry at that, and to be honest, I did think Masareka got his boot to the foot of Riley Burge, so I'm not upset at the call, but how about that run by Masareka? Took a phenomenal touch to settle it right under his foot off of the hard ball played into him and dribbled past one. Maybe he had a chance at a goal if that whistle was not blown, so I think that's really the impetus for the crowd being as upset as they were, not necessarily that the call was bad.
It's interesting how consistent this ref is in calling a foul in these situations. I don't think many of them have been. I do believe, I agree with you, this one looks like there was contact that needed to be called for, but it's just not consistent in the way he's calling this game.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation that a lot of the fouls are being called in. We've seen Masareka a few times get buzzed for this, but oftentimes the attacking team on an attack is getting whistled for a foul. Maybe the ball's behind them and they have to go back for it and end up making some incidental contact, but it's not really a scenario where you see a ton of whistles being blown, but certainly today, we've seen that foul called a couple of times.
It's UNC on the counter, but that's cut out from the Maryland midfield. And it's moving forward for Masareka. Masareka driving on his own. There's nobody really there in the box for him, but it goes out to Costabile. Costabile to Cole. Cole to GK. Now Steinleitner switching play to Jace Clark. Clark into the middle for Androneka. Androneka to Cole. Sliding in was Luka Nikolai, and in the meantime, takes out the legs of Luka Costabile, but wins the ball, and the ref, no whistle again.
Yeah, I don't really see how that's a penalty. It seemed like a pretty clean slide tackle. Got pretty much all the ball, and I don't think he got any of Costabile, but Maryland wants him to take a look at it. I'm sure he won't because there wasn't much to it, but anytime someone goes down in the box, it's likely to warrant that reaction.
Agreed. And even though Costabile did go down, there was contact with the ball before the contact with the player. Lauren Mack finds the ball and plays it all the way wide. It's in GK. GK looking to cross the ball in, still holding on to the ball. Looks back for Chris Steinleitner in the midfield. over to Cole, and now back to GK again. Couple Maryland players in the box, but he tries to find Costabile. Doesn't quite work out in his favor. Long ball is played over to Rygaard Hansen, who's coming up on top, but that's great defending from Lasse Kelp. Slides in, wins the ball. Now here come Maryland Beer, there's just about over 6 minutes remaining, as here comes Masareka, who slips and misses out on another opportunity. Masareka goes down. Referee, no whistle, and it's a goal kick again.
Masareka started to lose his composure a little bit. Endured a pretty hard push there by Callum Frogson. Frogson, of course, just going after the ball. Masareka was kind of already off balance, but it does seem like the referee is willing to take a look at this one.
Instead of taking a look, he's giving a yellow card to Sasso for Maryland.
Yellow card issued to the Maryland bench.
Yeah, I'm sure that yellow card is as much towards the Maryland bench as it is to the Maryland fans in the student section here. Certainly in the referee's ear, we'll put it that way. I'm sure he would be grateful for a goal to happen in these next 6 minutes so he doesn't have to endure 20 more minutes of overtime with this voracious crew crowd in his ear.
We're going to see a quick break in play. Our score still remains 1-1. We've got about 7 minutes remaining in the half. We are here with WMUC Sports, and we will be back shortly. Welcome back to Ludwig Field after a short break in play. It is going to be a goal kick from Cortez. Slips in the process and finds Androneka. Androneka trying to play it forward. Now UNC end up on the ball with Nikolai. Goes back to Mate in the back. Mate to Rygaard Hansen. Looking for a player in the middle, but only finds Androneka. Acres of space going himself. Just tripping up a little bit. Dan Klink wins the ball back, but only so far as Maryland's Costabile. Looking for that ball in the middle, comes out to him again. We're seeing Maryland just holding on to possession a little bit. All the way back now, recycling to Lauren Mack. We have a little over 5 minutes remaining in the second half. And at this rate, we will be going into overtime. But that is not to say a last-minute goal is not in the cards. Here comes Maryland moving forward. On that left side, ball is played in. Only so far as Callum Frogson. Frogson and GK goes for the bicycle kick outside the box, but misses the ball entirely. Picoto keeps it in on the sideline. Now Costabile twisting and turning outside the 18. Shot from distance from Cole, but Cortez dives on it, and that's a pretty routine save in the end.
Yeah, quite the choice from GK to go for the bicycle, kind of standing right on that 18-yard line.
Just trying to replicate Jack Sandmeyer from Thursday.
Maybe he just watched a little bit of film and trying to one-up Sandmeyer, but that would have been
impressive.
Would have been sensational, but it would have been highly unlikely for that ball to find the back of the net.
Always difficult to score those kind of goals, but definitely something I can see Stefan and GK scoring in the future. Lauren Mack in goal, on the ball now. That's one out by Kropp, but then only to Leon Cole for Maryland, who plays it wide to Costabile on the left. GK beating out Mate in a foot race. Cutting into the middle, 2v1, loses the ball. Now it's Nikolai. GK wins it back, but it's a UNC throw. It's going to be Mate who will be taking the throw for the Tar Heels. Mate's been very strong against Stefan and GK on the attack for Maryland today. And GK with the high boot hits Nikolai in the face. That's always a dangerous one.
And guess what? He's perfectly okay.
Seems to be okay, but always a risky one getting a boot to the face. Just another one of the free kicks we've seen in this game. UNC have 10 fouls, Maryland have 13. It's played long, but nobody's really there as an attacking threat, and it's going to be a goal kick for Lauren Mack. Plays it short to Tristan Rose. We have 3 minutes remaining in the second half. It is still 1-1. Maryland versus North Carolina. It has definitely been an interesting game, especially from a referee standpoint, as another ball is played over the top for Masareka. Masareka, no whistle this time. Picotto just lets it go. Here comes Jace Clark in the box. Clark trying to win out and losing to Abayal, who receives the ball on the sideline and finds Klink. Klink over to Nikolai. Nikolai trying to play that long ball forward for Rygaard Hansen. Rygaard Hansen 1v1 with Tristan Rose. Cuts in, takes the shot. What a save from Lauren Mack. He needed that one. He and Maryland needed that one going right to the bottom left. He gets 2 hands to it.
First of all, great possession from North Carolina. Nacho Abayal, his goalkeeper, wanted him to clear it after that chance for Jace Clark, but Abayal kept it at his feet. A bunch of great passes, and it finally finds Bertil Rygaard Hansen right at the corner of the box. He fires a great shot, had a ton of space, beat his defender, but Lauren Mack, full extension to his right. That ball seemed destined for the back of the net until Mack's hands got in the way.
Nikolai.
It's an impressive save from Lauren Mack, who's done so well in net for Maryland. Here comes the corner. Once again, Mack gets a hand to it, but quick shot taken, not quite cleared. This time it goes out and it's a Maryland goal kick. Lauren Mack getting the applause from the crew and his own teammates. Very well deserved.
Lauren Mack, as good as it gets in the Big Ten. Named to the first team, all-conference team this year. One of 6 Maryland selections to that honor. The cream rises. And Lauren Mack, certainly the cream of the crop in this conference, showing up when he's needed the most. And with under 2 minutes left, he keeps this one knotted at 1.
Very well said. UNC back on the ball. Only so far as Costabile. Now it's GK to Cole to Costabile, just chipping it over for Masareka. Doesn't quite find him, finds Burge instead. Maryland are in the midfield with Steinleitner. Gets taken out as he plays the ball, but now the whistle's blown. We have 45 seconds remaining in what is going to look like a 1-1 tie in regular time, and it's going to go into overtime. Just about every player is back for UNC, bar Rygaard Hansen. Their center forward. Time is ticking down. But the referee blows his whistle again, and now time stops with 22 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, just a bit of mind games there. Bertil Hansen, standing a little bit closer to Mack than he would like, as Mack will stand over this free kick right at the halfway line. Hansen, just a little bit of tomfoolery, we'll say.
That's one word for it, as the ref brings the ball back for Lauren Mack, who once again resets the ball. Coach Simono for UNC is not happy with that. Big ball in from Lauren Mack, dangerous. Cortez gets a hand to it. Nobody really attacking that ball for Maryland. He's just slowing it down. His teammates gesturing for him to play quicker. We have 10 seconds left as it goes out of play. And what is going to look like the final minutes, final seconds, of the second half. It is 1-1, and we are going to be going into overtime here at Ludwig Field.
At the end of the second half will be your score. North Carolina 1.
How about that?
Maryland 1.
90 minutes. Not enough to decide a winner here at College Park in the second round of this NCAA tournament. Maryland struck with 2 minutes to go in the first half on a Rocket Rita goal. And then 10 minutes into the second, it was North Carolina equalizing with Nacho Abayel. And then the entire second half elapsed, and we're right back where we started. Knotted in a tie, and now the game is shortened. Just 20 minutes to play in overtime. If we get through that without a goal, we'll move on to penalty kicks. We'll play the overtime period first. Your score in College Park: North Carolina 1, Maryland 1. We've got 4 minutes until halftime. We'll take a short break here on WMUC. We welcome you back into WMUC Sports Radio, where 90 minutes just were not enough to decide a winner here at Ludwig Field. In round number 2 of the NCAA tournament, it's the Maryland Terrapins, it's the North Carolina Tar Heels, all tied up at 1. My name is Peter Kelly, joined by Sydney Schwartz, and we've got all the coverage for you on WMUC Sports Radio. Both teams have retaken the field after what was a chaotic second half of play. A lot of energy from the fans and the players, pointing to the refereeing crew in their purple shirts. I have not been a fan of some of the calls made and some of the calls missed. But that is all behind us now in what's been a very aggressive and chippy game. Don't expect it to stop, as we've got 2 guaranteed 10-minute periods, and then if a winner is not decided by then, we'll then move on to penalty kicks. UNC will start out with possession here in the extra period. As a reminder, they're in their all powder blues. The goalkeeper, Andrew Cortez, is in bright gold. For Maryland, they're in their red shirts with the white shorts. The goalkeeper, Lauren Mack, hyping up the crew, is in magenta. Bracken Sarah places it on the center M. The substitute into the second half, the lone substitute for North Carolina, Dan Klink, is out. He finished out both halves of play, and he will sit out to start off this overtime period. Bertil Rygaard Hansen is back in. Bracken Sarah trotting in the center circle. 10 minutes on the clock in overtime period number 1. And we are away.
Bracken Sarah still wearing that number 23 jersey.
Yeah, a little bizarre occurrence there, but I guess the referee doesn't think that's enough to warrant a stoppage. Bertil Rygaard Hansen immediately with a quick chance, tried to cross it in, but Maryland getting in the way defensively. And now playing it back is Lassa Kelp, but only as far as Jack Sandmeyer in midfield. The tall midfielder slides it to Bracken Sarah, who gets a fistful of Chris Steinleitner jersey, and now it's played all the way back to Frogson. Over on the far side to Nacho Abayel, the goal scorer for UNC, the SIU Edwardsville transfer. Dispossessed in midfield, and it falls to Masarika. Masarika is the one Maryland man forward against 4 Tar Heel defenders. He's still moving with it. He moves past Frogson, slotted over towards Stefan GK. Masarika goes down, and he's rewarded with a free kick.
This might be the first free kick in a while that is going Masarika's way. Lots going against him in that second half when he was one-on-one with goal line in sight.
So it sets up a dangerous chance for Maryland just 1 minute in to overtime number 1. Free kick about 30 yards out. Chris Steinleitner, the lone man, over it. Steinleitner, the senior from Munich. Spent a year at Eastern Florida and then arrived at the University of Maryland, where in 15 games started this year. He's got 3 assists, still looking for his first goal. Maybe he can record an assist here. Sends this one in, lofts it right at the keeper, Andrew Cortez, who rises above the pack, claiming it with both hands, and he neutralizes this threat for the moment.
Not sure that was what Steinleitner was looking for with that one.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Sydney, but it looked like as kind of the second half concluded, it didn't seem like for the last 20 or 25 minutes there were many opportunities, especially for Maryland. It looked like they had kind of slowed off of their attacking.
Yeah, it really slowed down the second half. We saw a lot of great opportunities in the first. We saw a lot of, like I said, one-on-ones for Saddam Masarika, who just ended up getting the whistle called on him. But towards those final 10 minutes, we saw a lot of UNC opportunities, a couple saves from Lauren Mack coming up big. But there's 20 minutes to play for. It is not golden goal. Complacency isn't an option.
One thing I'm hoping that Coach Sasho told his team in that brief huddle during the 5-minute intermission between the second half and overtime is to not let this game rely on the whistle of the referee. It seemed like a lot of times Maryland was on a run, had a chance, but squandered it because the player would just go down hoping for a whistle, which was not given and would just make the team more and more mad. So I hope Coach Sasho is over there saying, just play through any contact. You can't rely on this referee, especially with how this game has gone. We need a goal. Get it no matter how. A chance for Masarika trickles all the way to Andrew Cortez. Now back for Costabile in the direction of GK. GK running after it, as is Callum Frogson for UNC. Frogson shields this one out, and it goes out for a Tar Heel throw. Double-digit fouls on the scoreboard for both teams. The scoreboard here at Ludwig reads 17 fouls for North Carolina and 16 for Maryland. It's certainly been one of the more aggressive games that Maryland has been a part of this year between these longtime bitter rivals in the ACC. Ball in contest in midfield. Pakoto rises up for it towards Masarika. Now chasing after it for North Carolina is the captain, Andrew Czech. Plays it forward for Bertil Hansen. Hansen pushing up the right side, defended by Kelp. Crosses it back in the direction of Czech, but it's cleared away by Chris Steinleitner. All the way out, right in front of the North Carolina bench. It goes out for a Tar Heel throw. The attacking threat not over, but neutralized for the moment.
Not too many attacking players for UNC in that opportunity. Had the ball played into the box, they were outnumbered at least 2 to 5 by Maryland defenders.
Forward on the sideline. Here comes Luka Nikolai. Marked up by Andronika. Tried to cross it in, but it sails behind the goal. And Lauren Mack will keep this one for a goal kick. One thing to note, you mentioned that UNC didn't have a lot of attacking players in. When a team pushes up at that sideline, it looks more likely that they're going to cross it in, hoping to find the head of someone. But one thing to note for UNC is their attacking threats right now, Bertil Hansen and Gabriel Bracken-Sarah, are not very tall in stature. It looks like Dan Klink could be a big threat off the bench. But Bertil Hansen, only 6'1", and Gabriel Bracken-Sarah, only 5'8". Masarika is stripped up in the box. The entire Ludwig Stadium has just exploded, and there is no whistle blown. Masarika is flat on his bum. He cannot believe it. The referee has stopped it, and he will go to the monitor.
If there's one call that can be reviewed in this game, that's a good one to look at. That is not great on Saddam Masarika.
A pivotal moment 5 minutes into overtime number 1 as the referee strides to the monitor for the first time today. Masarika was stripped up in the near corner of the box. The fans on this near side have risen to their feet in anticipation. Masarika has risen to his feet. He's going to be okay. But we'll still remain to see if a penalty will be given.
We're in the second round of the NCAA tournament, and there are fouls like that in the box. It's very questionable tactics being played.
The referee in his purple shirt still hunched over the monitor as the teams will take a second to catch their breaths. Andrew Cordes, the North Carolina keeper, waits in anticipation. This moment could define the game. It could define the season for either one of these teams. Will the penalty be awarded to Maryland?
We're about halfway through this first quarter of overtime. Referee still looking at that call. Maryland fans still on their feet waiting to hear about the call.
The referee certainly taking his time to look at this one, as he should be. I can only imagine what the outcry will be from this crowd here if after this deliberation and this delay, there is still no penalty given.
Not entirely sure what could be taking the referee so long. There wasn't all that much to review, minus the contact.
At the end of the day, it's going to be discretionary. The referee calls over his partner. His partner now takes a look. Both teams just milling around in midfield. Dylan Kropp is pleading his case, the North Carolina center back. He was the one that got a little bit tangled up with Saddam Masarika. He had just cut into the box, making a nice move to draw the contact. Making something out of nothing is what Masarika's been known for this year. The leading goal scorer for the Terrapins has 9 on the year. Referees taking all the time they can here. Although it does seem like they're wrapping up their deliberation. Everyone just holding their breath. The referee comes away from the monitor. What will it be? He strides back on the field. After the review, he will say, play on.
No penalty, wow. What a call.
A crucial moment in this game. And the referee elects not to point to the spot. We will play on. Luka Costabile screaming at the referee. Coach Sasho Sorovsky cannot believe it. He's trying to contain his players from spilling onto the field and picking up a second yellow, as we already saw one given to the Maryland bench late in the second half.
Number 23,
I'm no referee, but even I can tell that contact is not exactly legal. I don't know what he's seeing versus what we saw, but again, a very interesting decision. Still Maryland ball.
Drop ball right to Costabile, all the way back to Tristan Rose. This is why I really hope Coach Sasha said something along the lines of play regardless of the referee. You cannot leave this game in this referee's whistle or in his hands or in the review of any monitor. If a goal's going to come, you got to earn it. You got to work for it against this stingy North Carolina back line. And I hope Maryland can have a short memory and not let that missed chance define their rest of their overtime period.
Wise words of Ted Lasso, be a goldfish.
North Carolina's going to get a throw in. It's sent over towards Abayal, who heads it straight up. Now Pakoto to GK. GK's got it at his feet. Plays it through a few defenders over towards Leon Kuhl. Leon Kuhl misses his man, but it finds its way to Masarika. Masarika across to GK. GK crosses it in and puts way too much air under that. Trying to track it down is Rita, who just subbed back in. Rita does get to it in the far corner. Castabile loops it in with the left, finds Pakoto. Pakoto was not able to get a touch to it. Uncompetitive attempt from Maryland, but still with the ball at the Terrapins. Steinleitner back up top for Jace Clark. Clark has stubbed in and has stayed there after Cisse left with an injury late in the second half. Here comes Stefan GK, working on his defender. Now the defender is pushed to the ground, and Callum Frogson. Whistle is blown, and it will go back the other way. Another foul called on the attacking team during an attack. About 3.5 minutes to go in overtime number 1. Still knotted, 1 goal apiece between the Maryland Terrapins and the North Carolina Tar Heels. We've got the coverage for you on WMUC Sports Radio, your Terps, your station. Andrew Cordes shielding the sun, now sends it away across the halfway line. Going up for it is Pakoto. Now for North Carolina is Dylan Kropp. Falling to the feet of Pakoto. Back to Leon Kuhl, who lost it. Here come the Tar Heels. Bracken Sarah moving laterally. Now playing it forward to Hansen. Costabile wants the flag up. I think he was on sides. Hansen still with it on his feet. Plays it ahead. Here comes Andrew Czech. A bit of a bump. Czech goes down, but no whistle taken. Great defense there by Lasse Kelp. Clean tackle there, and now Maryland moving away. Here comes Pakoto. Up ahead to Masarika. Masarika burns past Riley Burge. Burge was able to get back and get his feet in there to dispossess Masarika. Falls to Rocket Rita. Rita with space. Crossfield to GK. GK has some room. They give it a shot. Takes one off the side of the netting. It was deflected, and it goes out for a Maryland corner. But the best chance in this extra period comes via the right foot of Stefan GK.
I'm sure some of the fans on this near side thought that one might have gone in. Just sneaking by into the side netting, but so close yet so far.
And a big deal for North Carolina, down in the box, seated with a bit of an injury, is Emmanuel Mate. The lone freshman in the starting lineup has earned every minute of his playing time this year. He rises to his feet, a little bit banged up, but he is certainly going to stay in this game. Standing over it in the far right corner for a Maryland corner kick is Chris Steinleitner. Steinleitner takes 4 steps back. His right arm goes up. Maryland has 7 in the box. Steinleitner sends a low ball in, headed away by North Carolina and Dylan Kropp. All the way back to Steinleitner, who pushed up the sideline to get to it. Back to Masarika, who is all the way back. Masarika lofts the ball in, over towards Tristan Rose. Rose holds off the defender, and it gets to GK. Under 2 minutes to go in overtime number 1. Stefan GK up for Castabile, trying to curl it in towards the back post, but no one was there. The closest man to it is a Tar Heel. And moving away with it is Nacho Abayal. Clears it all the way back to Masarika. Masarika to Kelp. Forward to GK. GK is marked by Emmanuel Mate. It's been the matchup all game. GK pushing up, was dispossessed. He drew a double team from Luka Nikolai, and Nikolai got in the way of his trying to cut back. All the way back to Lasse Kelp. Over to Lauren Mack, who's now going back into his sweeper role. He's far outside of his 18 box. Bertil Hansen sags off of him, and now Mack plays it over to Lasse Kelp. Kelp to Castabile. It's just a little bit out in front. A poor pass there. The execution on that short pass has to be better. And it goes out for a North Carolina throw-in. 1 minute to go in overtime number 2. And 2 substitutes in for North Carolina. Dan Klink back in for the 3rd time today. He will check in for Gabriel Bracken-Sarah. And another substitute I thought we might see, Charlie Antonelius. The Stockholm, Sweden native checks in for Emmanuel Mate, who is a little bit banged up.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Antonelius, another freshman, checking into this lineup. All the way on the far touchline. Castabile getting to it. And now it's poked out of play for a goal kick for Maryland. Just 40 seconds to go in overtime number 1. Still score is 1-1 between Maryland and North Carolina. Maryland started out the season through 15 games without a loss. They suffered their first loss at the hands of the UCLA Bruins in the Big Ten semifinal. They're trying to avoid their second because a second would end their season. Skied away by Mack, right to the foot of Sandmeyer, over towards Chris Steinleitner from Maryland. Forward for Joseph Picoto. Picoto in a hand fight with Sandmeyer. Now Picoto is pushed down. No whistle given as the referee says play on. The PA drags on, counts down from 10. 5 seconds to go, played in, long free kick is nowhere near a Terrapin. And that is how the first overtime period will end. Their score after 10 minutes of extra time, Maryland 1, UNC 1. Not much seen in the first overtime period for either team, Sydney.
No, there really was nothing productive about that first period. I mean, no great opportunities minus that possible penalty, but wasn't called, and that was that. We're going to see another 10 minutes. We've already played 100, and it's all to play for in these last 10. Otherwise, it'll be UNC's second penalty shootout in the first 2 rounds.
We'll keep it right here with you on WMUC Sports. There's not much of a break between the 2 overtime periods. That moment for Masarika, the penalty potentially in the box. Certainly one of the most exciting moments of this game today. But after the review, the referee says no penalty given. So both teams must move on.
Excited to see what these coaches are saying to their teams right now. They've had 100 minutes. Only 16 total shots on goal, 8 from each side. And only 6 shots on goal. Real actual shots on target. That's, I mean, you don't get a lot of those in soccer anyways, but the fact that only 2 of those have gone in, both teams really aren't capitalizing on their opportunities.
Yeah, 6 shots on goal combined, and Maryland only with 2. One of them, of course, the goal from Rocco Rita, the substitute, and the other one from Leon Cole, a rather uncompetitive ball in that Andrew Cortez was able to claim easily. Both teams wrapping up their huddle. We will bring you right back in to the second half of this overtime period. Sometimes at Maryland, at football games or at basketball games, you'll see some of the student body leaving early to do whatever, to go get food at the Y or to go study for a test or whatever they may do. But not today. It does seem that the entire crew has filled up both end lines, and the student section has remained packed throughout 100+ minutes of soccer.
Something we can't say the same for when they played Michigan in football yesterday.
It was a rough loss yesterday for the Maryland Terrapins, and there weren't many students around to see the second half.
I myself left after the first half.
10 minutes down in overtime, 100 minutes down in the game, and now 10 minutes is all that stand between these two teams and a penalty shootout. Maryland starts with possession in overtime period number 2, and it's Sadam Masarika who stands over the ball, and he starts us off in overtime number 2. Plays it back for Steinleitner. We are off and away.
We're going to see Jace Clark on the ball. Over to Rita, who checked in late in that first period of overtime. UNC just playing it back for Burge. Now Crop over to Mate, who checks back in. Mate over to Nikolai. That's been a strong partnership for UNC throughout these 100 or so minutes. UNC are flying down that right sideline with Nikolai. Tries to get it off Steinleitner, who just comes out on top of the ball. Driving all the way by himself. Only 2 people in front of him. Finds one of them in Castabile. Castabile finding the long switch over to Clark. Clark just doesn't really control it. Goes out of bounds for a throw-in. There's a player down on the ground right now. The referee gesturing for Maryland's medical team to come out onto the pitch. Looks to be Maryland's number 22, Chris Steinleitner, who's on the ground. Just a little bit past midfield. Another break in play, only 1 minute has gone. 9 minutes remain, otherwise a penalty shootout. Steinleitner is on his feet. But we are gonna see a substitution anyways. Kenny Quist-Thurston coming back on for Maryland.
17, Kenny Quist-Thurston.
We saw him early in that first half action. A part of the team that was on the field during the goal. A tough loss for Maryland. Steinleitner's been a constant all season. They're not going to want to give up these last 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, hopefully he can sub back in at some point during this overtime period. But it's certainly a big loss, not just because of his presence in midfield, but also because he's been the primary corner kick taker for UMD today. So they're going to have to turn to someone else, maybe Costabile, if they ever come to that situation again.
Our ball is back in play. Jace Clark clears it. Looking to find a streaking Saddam Masarika, but doesn't find him, only Picoto, where it's cleared away once again by Burge, who tries to play it long, and it's cleared away by Maryland, only so far as Abial, who just kicks it wide for another throw. Going back to Steinleitner's corner kicks, I really don't think those have been strong this game. He's a great player, yes, but that has an aspect that hasn't been great for Maryland today, alongside some of the free kicks we've seen from both teams. Seems to be another injury down on the field, this time a Tar Heel. Just getting some help up. That looks to be Abial. Or Brecken Sarah, actually, who's making his way off the pitch with the support of some of the
Tar Heel
trainers.
Substitution, number 9, Dan Klink.
Number 9, Dan Klink, return for UNC. An attacking threat, both in height and skill.
Personally, it's a dangerous thing to see as a Maryland supporter, to see Dan Klink come into this game. I think the Maryland wingbacks are getting a little bit tired, perhaps. Costabile has played all 111 minutes and counting. And I think Klink could be a candidate from a cross in from a header.
Saddam Masarika just tried to control it, but loses out as the ball is played over the top for UNC. It's a very big attacking threat. Abial lets it go. Klink plays it all the way back to Frogson. Frogson finds Abial wide. Can't find his way past Jace Clark, so he looks to play it back to Frogson. Plays it all the way back to Cortez in their own half. Lets Maryland settle back into their defense a little bit. Cortez tries it long. Doesn't get past Jace Clark. Clark to Picoto, just tries to flick it. Misses out. It's Rygaard Hansen who plays it wide to Nikolai. Nikolai on the ball now. All the way across. Jace Clark, necessary header. Gets it out. And it's a throw, not a corner. That was important last-ditch defending from Jace Clark. Otherwise, the UNC attacker was surely in on goal. You've gone through just about 3 minutes in the second period of overtime. That's all that stands between this and a penalty shootout. North Carolina's second in the past few days.
Fortunately for Maryland, it looks like Jace Clark is going to check out. He's limping a little bit. They've re-aggravated something that injured him in the UCLA game. So the substitute in, Maryland now down to their third string right center back in number 28, Brian St. Martin.
Senior from Mount Airy, this is important for Brian St. Martin. Might not be the first or second string, but he's on the field now, and that's all that matters. Not quite cleared away just yet. That's Tristan Rose who's taken down. No whistle. It's UNC ball. All the way towards that left end line. It's going to be a throw for Burge, long throw. We've seen the long throw in this game before from Riley Burge, and we're going to see it again. But before that can happen, the ref blows his whistle towards some contact from the players in the box. Burge lines it up all the way. It's headed away. It's Maryland clear. Nikolai tries to play it first time, miskicks it, and it's going to be Maryland ball.
Yeah, dreadful touch there from Nikolai. Was moving backwards, and so was the ball, and he tried to somehow get enough power to score from 30 yards out. No chance.
None. This is Androneka for Maryland, twisting, turning, tries to get by two, doesn't get past Mate, who clears. Tries to play that long ball, only so far as Lasse Kelp, and it goes out of play for a Tar Heel throw. Once again, back and forth. A little staticky from both teams, definitely a lot of tired legs out there. We've played just around 104 minutes of soccer today. Maryland on the ball. Back at Lauren Mack's feet in goal. Mack taking his time, finds Tristan Rose. Rose still on it, looks for St. Martin. Gets his foot stomped on a little bit, but just slides past him. It's going to be a UNC throw. Once again, out of play.
St. Martin's just going to have to tough this one out. There's not much behind him on the bench. Coach Sasha already down to his third string center back. St. Martin's going to need to stay in this one.
St. Martin's got a lot to prove. He wouldn't want to go out after the first few minutes. Check, wins the ball and plays it to Mate. Mate swings it wide for Nikolai. Deflection goes out. It's going to be North Carolina corner. Time is running down, just a little under 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to be exact.
With time running out, Maryland doesn't need to withstand too many more of these, but each one becomes more and more consequential.
Taken by number 7, Nacho Abiel.
Ball is played short. Driving into the middle was Nikolai, hits it. Just over the bar. Lauren Mack was flying for that one, but doesn't need to in the end.
Yeah, impressive attempt from Luka Nikolai. Moving right to left, fired a shot with the left foot. Had burned past Masarika and missed north of the crossbar, but only by about 2 yards. So valiant attempt from Nikolai. But the Tar Heels come away empty-handed off the corner.
Maryland picks up on the ball again. The one by check in the midfield for North Carolina. Lays it off to Abayal, who doesn't do anything with it. And it's St. Martin now. St. Martin getting tugged back, and there's the whistle. That's going to be a yellow card for Andrew Check in the midfield.
Yeah, no question about that one. Not an easy one
Substitution now checking in
to do if you're Andrew Check to determine if you let the defender St. Martin move by you or if you have to hold him up, and he elects to hold him up.
At this point, there's not much to lose with the yellow card. There's just about 3 minutes remaining. We also just saw Stefan and GK come back in for Rocket Rita Rita. The freshman who scored Maryland's only goal on the night. Lasse Kelp stands over the ball now. Maryland free kick. Ball over the top, finds ahead of Quist Thurston, but doesn't quite win out, and Sandmeyer clears.
I actually really love that ball in from Lasse Kelp. We mentioned with Steinleitner out who was going to take those set pieces, and they turned to Lasse Kelp, the junior defenseman from Germany, and he plays a great ball in that finds the head of Quist Thurston, just unable to get it on target.
Quist Thurston was on the ball now, just loses out to Burge. Plays it long, looking for Rygaard Hansen. Doesn't win out against Lasse Kelp. And it's Tristan Rose now on the ball for Maryland. To GK. GK winning out. Abeyal, hands all over his back, but gives up the chase in the end. It's won by Frogson. Back to Abeyal. Goes off St. Martin. It's going to be a UNC throw. 2 minutes remaining in the second period of overtime until a penalty shootout, something UNC is very familiar with in the NCAA tournament. Leon Cole. Over to Kelp. Kelp trying to find Androneka. Only so far is Andrew Czech playing the ball over the top. Nikolai not quick enough to get there in front of Lasse Kelp, who lets it run to Lauren Mack. Mack to Rose. Mack again. Now Kelp. Kelp looking long. Only so far is Burge. Out of play. Maryland throw again. A lot of tired legs out there in the 108th minute of play. That last final step for both teams. The clock is winding down. We are at 1 minute and 15 seconds left. All to play for. Long throw for Maryland. Cleared away. Not far enough as UNC try to play the counter, but nobody's up there. Goes straight to Lauren Mack.
1 minute left in the period.
All players up, so Mack tries to find Kenny Quist Thurston. Doesn't quite win out, but recovers the ball. Quist Thurston still. Knocked to the ground as he finds Costabile. Ball over the top. That's St. Martin. What a story that would have been for St. Martin as he heads it on target, but a diving Cordes gets the ball.
One of the best saves you will see. St. Martin, off of a beautiful pass in, gets his header on target, and it could have been the third string center back, the senior, the hero, but Andrew Cordes makes a fantastic save. One-ups Lauren Mack's save in the final 3 minutes of regulation, diving to his right and keeps it in his outstretched hands.
10,
That could have been
9,
it. We are at 10 seconds
8,
remaining. Abeyal
7,
on the ball.
6,
Cleared away
5,
by Costabile.
4,
That's going to go out, and
3,
we are going to go
2,
into a penalty
1.
shootout here at Ludwig Field.
And
University of
that's the end
Maryland
of
versus
overtime
University
period
of
number
North
2.
Carolina.
With the score,
1-1 throughout the
1,
entire game.
Maryland 1.
No more opportunities for a regular play goal.
It's
gonna be a penalty
penalty
shootout decider for these teams.
It seems only fitting that a game of this caliber, between two teams of this caliber, extends as long as it can. The game does not want to die. And with penalty kicks in the wings, we'll see which team can pull it out and advance to the Sweet 16. About 4.5 minutes to go until we'll get you the coverage of penalty kicks. We'll take a short break here on WMUC. 110 minutes was just not enough time to decide a winner here at Ludwig Field in College Park, Maryland, as this second round matchup is giving us a lot of free soccer. Maryland won, UNC won, and we move forward and march on into penalty kicks. Back here on WMUC Sports Radio, I'm Peter Kelly. She's Sydney Schwartz. We've got it all for you on WMUC Sports, your Terps, your station. Maryland and North Carolina in a deadlock here at Ludwig. And now it comes down to the chess match that is a penalty shootout. The two keepers have been so fantastic here today, each making a signature save. And now it's up to them to will their team into the third round. From Maryland, the sophomore keeper, Lauren Mack, recently named to the first team All Big Ten Conference team. The sophomore from Emmendingen, Germany, played his club football at SC Freiburg, the three-time Big Ten goalkeeper of the week. Last year was named to the Big Ten All-Freshman team after starting all 19 games for the Terrapins. This year he's played every minute of every game, and he has been sensational. For the other side, the keeper Andrew Cordes, the senior from Denver, Colorado. Third in the ACC in goals allowed average, has allowed 16 goals in 19 games. 8 clean sheets on the year, and in his 69 career games at UNC, he has started 68 of them over 4 years.
Lots of experience on both sides in net today, as we see our first player walk out for North Carolina.
Stepping up to the spot first for the Tar Heels is the captain, Andrew Czech. Czech was the first to take against North Florida in the shootout on Thursday night. The order there was Czech, Abeal, Hernandez, Nikolai, McDowell, Bracken Sarah, and Luis Vera. The only one to miss was Bracken Sarah.
I have to wonder if Bracken Sarah will be taking one tonight.
Andrew Czech, hands on his hips against Lauren Mack to start off the shootout. He takes a deep breath, the whistle is blown. Czech's run up, slots it home. He goes right down the middle. Mack guesses wrong, he dives to his left, and it's 1-0 North Carolina in the shootout.
It's a great PK. Goalkeeper goes the wrong way, all the way bottom left. Doesn't get much better than that. No wonder Andrew Czech goes first.
And now stepping into net for the Tar Heels, Andrew Cordes. Cordes did just enough to get his team to win in the North Florida shootout. They scored 5 penalty kicks in 7 chances. Cordes did not save the 2 that North Florida missed. Both of them were off the woodwork. Stepping to the spot for Maryland, Saddam Masarika, the leading goal scorer this year for the Terrapins with 9. He scored the first hat trick in 8 years for Maryland on November 7th versus Michigan State. And here he has a chance to equalize the shootout. Steps back and to his right. Long run up. It's off the bar and no good. Masarika misses Maryland's first penalty kick, and it's North Carolina out to an early advantage.
I mean, that's been the story of Masarika's night, I fear. Nothing really went his way in the offense, getting called. Lots of fouls on him as well. That's unfortunate.
Still a lot of shootout left to play, but Masarika would certainly love to have that one back. Tar Heels lead the shootout 1-0. And now stepping up, it's a different order this time. For North Carolina, it's Javier Hernandez, who took the 3rd penalty in the game against North Florida. He takes the 2nd here today. Javier Hernandez, the freshman from Riverside, California, runs up, stutters, saved by Lauren Mack. Mack keeps us where we are, and he stops the penalty kick.
What a great save. Lauren Mack reads it all the way, diving to his right. Not a great free kick in the end from Hernandez, but now it's all even.
Javier Hernandez scored against North Florida, his penalty kick. And this one today, he went right, and Mack guessed correctly. Still 1-0 UNC. Just as a reminder, you do not have to be on the field as regulation ends to take part in the penalty shootout. So coaches trot out their 11 that are on the field. That's why Javier Hernandez is allowed to take a penalty, even though he did not appear in the game. Now for Maryland, it's number 6, Leon Cole, the junior from Cologne, takes a long run up and slots this one home. ties us up at 1, and he fires up the student section. Leon Cole, first team all-conference, shoots it straight down the right side. No chance for the keeper to save that one, even if he had guessed the right way, but Cortez went the wrong way. And now, stepping up for the team from Chapel Hill, the grad student out of A Coruña, Spain, Nacho Abayal. His first year in the Tar Heel Blue. Scored his 7th goal in the second half to equalize and get us into overtime. Abayal takes a breath. Mack is waiting. The crew is distracting. Abayal taking his time. Now runs up. Saved again by Mack. He's a brick wall.
Wow. Wow. You were saying how sensational Mack is. I think sensational is not enough to describe what Mack has done for this Terp side this season.
Lauren Mack staying in net and hyping up the crew. UNC's last 2 penalty kicks saved by Hernandez and Abayal. Right to the hands of Lauren Mack. Mack dove to his left and he guessed correctly, punching that one away. And now Maryland, with the shootout tied at 1, has a chance to equalize. And stepping up to take this penalty kick is the Italian, Joseph Umberto Picotto, the transfer in from UMBC. Stands paces behind the ball, crosses over his feet, now runs up and scores! 2-1 Maryland. Picotto, calm and collected, right into the side of the net on the left side. Cortez dove the right way. It did not matter.
I can't get over that Lauren Mack save we just saw. That was incredible. The atmosphere is incredible right now.
He's got a chance to do it again here. And stepping up to the spot for North Carolina is Luka Nikolai. Scored the 4th penalty in UNC shootout win over North Florida. Now he steps to the spot again. One-on-one with Lauren Mack, who has saved the last 2. He needs this one with down 2-1 in the shootout. Nikolai, quick run up and scores. Rolls it in calmly into the bottom left corner. Mack dove the wrong way, and we are knotted up at 2.
Yeah, that was clean from Nikolai. Very strong penalty kick.
Calm and collected for the junior. The transfer in from James Madison University was named to the 2nd team All-ACC. Started every game this year, recording 3 goals and 7 assists. He converts his penalty kick. He does his job. And now with the shootout equalized at 2, it's the brick wall of this backline from Maryland. The senior from Bonn, Germany, Lasse Kelp, has started every game at the back line this year. Strides back 5 paces to his right. Kelp versus Cortez. Runs up, calmly scores. Lasse Kelp, almost identical to the Nikolai kick. Rolls it in the bottom left corner. Cortez dove to his left. And Maryland out to a 3-2 lead. And if Lauren Mack can save this penalty, it's the Terrapins that will move on to next weekend.
I love when a defender takes a PK in a shootout. You never expect it. I think it's awesome. Lasse Kelp's been so strong for Maryland, and he's only helping his team even more with that one.
So much trust from Coach Sasho in his defender. Now, the most critical penalty so far goes to John McDowell from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Did not see action in this game. Takes the penalty and scores it. We play on here in College Park. John McDowell scored the 5th penalty in the last shootout, and he does so again with their backs against the wall. UNC is still alive.
Not much to say about that one. It was a good one. It was a good penalty kick.
And how about this? The decisive 5th penalty for Maryland. If they make it, they move on. Will be taken by Lauren Mack, the sophomore goalkeeper from Dusseldorf. Takes his strides back. It's keeper on keeper. Mack on Cortez. To advance. Scores! Lauren Mack save 2, scores the winner, and Maryland advances to next weekend and the Sweet 16.
Lauren Mack, the hero on the night, big on saves, big in the shootout. What can't this man do? So well deserved from Mack and Maryland tonight.
The best goalkeeper in the Big Ten. That's established. Now, he's maybe the best goalkeeper in the country. 2 huge penalty saves, a huge save in regulation to keep it tied, and then in an improbable victory, Maryland turns to Mack, scoring that 5th penalty, and they win the shootout 4-3. Absolutely unbelievable scenes here at Ludwig Field. The sellout crowd stuck around to the very end. And 3 hours after we started, it's the Terrapins who will move forward into the Sweet 16. Sydney, what a game we just saw. 90 minutes, 20 minutes of overtime, a chock full of excitement, penalty shootout. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I'm speechless. What an ending. Maryland lead, UNC come back. We go through 2 periods of overtime with no goals, and then the penalty shootout. It's the goalkeeper, Lauren Mack, who comes up big. I mean, wow. What an incredible game we've had here tonight. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. I'm excited to see what Maryland can bring to the next round.
To recap the game, Rita scored with 2 minutes to go in the first. Off the bench, the freshman came through. Then equalizing 8 minutes into the second was Nacho Abayel, scored his team-leading 7th goal. After 20 minutes of overtime, we moved on to a shootout. North Carolina struck first with Andrew Check, then Masarika missed the first penalty for Maryland off the crossbar. For Till Hansen, his penalty was saved by Lauren Mack, and then it went back to Maryland. Cole made his. Abayel's penalty was saved by Mack again. Pakoto scored his penalty. Nikolai scored his for UNC. Kelp scored his. Riley Burge, the pivotal for UNC. And then Maryland, with the chance to advance, turned to Lauren Mack. And Mack, calm and collected, beat his counterpart in net, Andrew Cordes. And it's Maryland who will keep on dancing. The number 4 seed moves on to next weekend, where they await the winner of the semifinal matchup in this division between UConn and Cornell. The national seed is UConn, the number 13 team in the country. They lead Cornell 2-1 with 18 minutes to play up in New Haven, Connecticut. We'll see who wins that one, but that'll do it for us. After 3 hours, it's Maryland who emerges from the dogfight with a 1-1, 4-3 shootout victory over the Tar Heels. That'll do it for us here at WMUC Sports. For Sydney Schwartz, I've been Peter Kelly. Thank you for hanging around with us, and so long.